It's a busy day. You can tell that already. As you kind of wake in the grand temple complex of the city of Shotakal, you can kind of hear around you kind of the hustle and bustle of the kind of temple staff and clergy up and about their business. It's a big day for the city and indeed the temple itself. You've kind of found yourself roped in for the ceremonial duties that sometimes temple guards like yourself must attend, as this is one of the busiest days in the religious calendar of the Tildraish people. You remember that the Union of the Magi is the kind of key cornerstone of your calendar, for it symbolizes not only the triumph of Tildraish over nature, but indeed the kind of birth of the civilization that you all enjoy. This, of course, is something that your people are incredibly proud of. To go up against something as powerful as a deity and to come out on top, it's an achievement to be proud of, and the history of your people speaks of it as such. However, for practical terms, this day you can already tell is probably going to be a headache. Not only are you going to have the masses of people flooding into the city, but you're going to have the kind of high clergymen out amongst them. But it's a challenge that you've risen to before, and you're confident that you'll rise to again. This year, however, you've been the envy of a lot of the other guards of the temple, as you've drawn not the ceremonial role with the highly polished armor and weaponry, but you've been assigned to be the kind of watchers in the crowd. So it's a common practice that at these events, not only do you have kind of the close-in escorts to the temple's high and mighty, but you also have the kind of the other staff, the other guards, intermingled with the crowd in a kind of a less high-profile nature, ready to kind of step in at a moment's notice. The logic being that having this kind of cordon outside the actual parade routes allows you to spot threats before a problem arises. So as you kind of wake up, you can see in the barracks a lot of the other guards who've kind of been stiffed for the ceremonial duties are kind of already up and about, having kind of risen early to start the laborious process of bringing their ceremonial plate up to kind of a mirror sheen. So one of them kind of turns and kind of casts an eye at you lot, kind of still just waking up. You lucky bastards. Can't believe we've been stuck at it again. This is my 4th year in the guard. I still think the Grand Master favours you.
Well, he favours us because we're the best. Sorry, old chum.
Keep telling yourself that. It was kind of a little bit of rivalry in the same way amongst like trained soldiers. Temple Guard are kind of close-knit bunch, so there's kind of backwards and forwards. You can tell that he's obviously not massively pleased about having to get up and do all this extra work, but it's not malicious in his comments to you. But as he's kind of getting to it, you kind of see the door open, and kind of in comes quite an elderly chap, kind of clad in his robes. And immediately, kind of the guards closest to the door kind of stand up and kind of straighten their backs, kind of to a degree of attention. As you were, chaps, I'm sure you're busy enough. I'm not here for you. And there they are. And he kind of sees you six kind of in your bunks. And you recognize straight away that this is the kind of a master of your temple. He's an elderly chap. Nobody really knows how long he's been in the office of High Priest, but every god you've talked to can't remember serving under a different master. But his name is Zoxar, and he is a very wise and respected man, not only in the religious community, but amongst the city nobility in general. He kind of wields a lot of influence from his position. But he kind of makes his way over to you. Good morning, everybody. I trust that you're adequately rested. It's a busy day up ahead of us.
We are ready for the day.
Excellent. Well, we have the parade route selected all in advance. I was actually here to fill you in on the details. If it wouldn't be too much trouble, I'd have you check the route ahead of time just to ensure that everything will go smoothly come the event. It's kind of customary for this kind of parade that he talks about to kind of happen kind of on the kind of strike of noon when the sun is at its highest. So this kind of gives you guys a bit of time in the morning, and you can see around you there's plenty of preparing to do. So it seems that whilst you may have dodged a lot of the kind of elbow grease intensive work polishing, you're not going to be without task this morning.
Indeed.
Well, as you know, we have quite a large crowd expected this year. I hear that we might even have some visiting nobles from the capital, so we're under extra pressure to make sure that everything goes right with this year's parade. So to that end, and he kind of tells you the route. So from listening to him describing it, you can tell that it's not going to be as long a kind of route as you would have expected for such an event. However, it is going to pass kind of quite close to a not necessarily a rough side of town, but a less affluent area where the kind of larger crowds are expected. So straight away, this kind of puts you as guards on edge a little bit, because kind of large crowds and the rougher class of people probably is going to increase the risk.
So, do you really expect us to go past this poorer district?
The god's blessing is not exclusive to the wealthy, Jackto. I thought you would know this by now. We do not discriminate here.
Very well.
Whilst I acknowledge there may be a risk, I think it is our duty to spread the word of the divine wherever it is needed most.
Agreed.
He kind of gives you a nod as if he's imparted a bit of a lesson to you there. He has a bit of a habit of doing this. He turns a lot of these kind of mundane topics into kind of learning opportunities, which is it can be quite patronising at times, but he means well by it. Excellent. Well, if you'll excuse me, I must see to arranging the reliquary for today. He kind of nods and leaves you guys to kind of prepare. So you reckon that this route will probably take the procession a couple of hours to get through at their pace, but kind of scouting it out probably shouldn't be too big a threat for you guys. You could probably get it done quite easily. It's not massively far because the parade is due to start and then finish at the temple in a kind of circular route.
Well, perhaps we should take a look and see if we can spot any threats before the parade begins.
Yes, let us make our preparations.
Jeez, what a pain in the ass. I suppose you'll want my help too.
We are all working together.
Very well, let's scout out the area.
Okay. So as you guys kind of get yourselves kind of ready for the day and kind of head out into the kind of a wider temple complex, you can kind of see that even though the sun's not out fully yet, it's still just peeking over the horizon. But you can tell it's going to be a nice day for it. You can't really see much that indicates there's going to be any clouds in the sky. It's probably going to be a scorcher, which is going to be lovely for working with parade, but it's probably going to draw an even larger crowd. But as you kind of shuffle through the kind of temple complex, kind of out of the kind of more humble barracks area, you kind of come into kind of large courtyard, and kind of ahead of you, you can see kind of the rising slopes of the main kind of temple complex. You've seen this a lot, but it's still a very awe-inspiring building. The kind of the base of this kind of stepped pyramid, kind of no expense was spared in the masonry involved. The stone is kind of a gleaming white, kind of the base 2/3. But the temple is kind of capped with a kind of thick layer of black kind of granite, again beautifully and painstakingly carved. The Empire spared no expense in building this kind of grand monument to their pantheon. But you can see already there are people kind of running up and down the steps and kind of around the lower area going about their business. Most of them seem to be kind of the lower ranking clergymen in their kind of quite Spartan robes. In fact, as you kind of making your way out there, Sybil, you kind of almost bump into kind of a group of them, kind of three of them. The first one kind of looks up and, "Which way are you going, will you? It's hard enough navigating this place, all right, without you lumbering oafs here. Honestly, what do we need guards for?" And before you can really answer, he kind of turns away and kind of carries on. You can see he's holding something which you assume to be one of the relics used in the parade, quite carefully.
Wasted youth. So where would they be headed?
So it looks like they're kind of headed to the kind of public side of the temple complex, where the kind of the masses go to pray. The actual altar at the top of this temple is usually only reserved for the high priest and his immediate entourage, kind of such is its importance. But for the common folk of the city, there's a fairly sizable building where they can kind of go and kind of make their prayers to the gods. And there are quite a few of the holy artifacts and statuettes placed in this area, because it obviously sees a lot of traffic, and the temple has gone to the effort of making sure that those who come are impressed. But yeah, they're dashing off towards that. Kind of as the Grandmaster was saying, it's going to be a busy parade, so they're gathering quite a lot of these kind of holy images ready to kind of transport them through the city.
Okay.
Cool. So you make your way out through the kind of the main entrance of this complex, into the busy streets. You can hear all around you the sounds of the the city waking up. People are already at the side of the streets with stalls. These merchants have obviously seen a very good choice of location and snapped it up quite quickly. And they're selling all sorts of products, but at the moment it seems that the crowds are really being drawn to a couple of stands selling food of some sort as people are up and about getting their breakfast. As you draw nearer, you can kind of get the lovely smell of a kind of nice cooking leg of something wafting over the heads of a few patrons. But the city at the moment, this is going to be the calm before the storm. It's going to get busy as the day goes on and the parade draws nearer. So you think to yourself that as for your mission of scouting, now's probably the time to do it.
Okay, so shall we head out onto the route?
Yes, let's go.
So, with those being meant to be being stealthy, would that?
So
What's
you're
that
not
going to require?
you're not going to be necessarily sneaking as such, but kind of dressed in reasonably.
Just going to say, like, big old plate mail boy over here is going to stick out like a sore thumb.
So yes, you're not really going to be trying to actively sneak as such. It's more just kind of blending in. So one or two armored individuals wouldn't really stand out. There are kind of towns guards floating around the city, so you're not going to draw all too much attention to yourself that way. It's more a case of just going around the route and kind of making sure it's going to be suitable and safe for the clergyman to follow later.
Okay.
So the kind of the first leg of this parade kind of takes you down this kind of main boulevard through the city. Temple, obviously holding quite a high importance, has pride of place in the centre of the city. And this thoroughfare is quite well travelled most of the days and is busy even now. But as the sun is coming up, you can kind of see that the stone plinths that support some luminescent crystals that usually shed lights throughout the evenings and the night have started to dim, and they'll be going out soon. But again, people are getting ready for the day. Some people, it seems, have been sleeping rough along the kind of side of the streets. Probably, you'd assume, to kind of reserve a good position to see the parade go by. It's a popular event. People do come in from not only other cities, but all the surrounding farms and the countryside. It's not often that the farmers come to town outside of market days, so kind of a whole national holiday is a good excuse for many to go and see the big city. And it's an impressive city to see, really. The obviously, for you, having been used to it, it doesn't strike you too much of anything out of the ordinary. But if the characters from our other campaign were to see it, they'd be blown away by the kind of the majesty here. The architecture is very, very kind of not only functional, but it's beautiful. Even the kind of regular run-of-the-mill buildings that don't seem to have an obvious official or religious purpose are kind of magnificently carved, and the stone is of incredibly high quality. But this is kind of the normal state of the city for the Tildraish Empire, and it wouldn't be out of place in any of their other towns. But to put you in a bit of perspective, it is an incredibly wealthy town. largely made possible by the merchant class you can see already plying their trades in the city. So you make your way down this first bit of a leg. So everybody, roll me an investigation.
I thought he was going to say initiative. Straight off
Just
the
a
bat. Fucking go.
series of ambushes, yeah. Get some fortunate sun in the background.
Oh, my dice maker isn't working.
No, mine.
It might be
mine's
because
not
the
working.
characters are there.
Yeah, I'm moving my shit all the way through.
That's fine, it was coming up with me.
Oh no, dice maker's not working at all.
Huh.
Are you not seeing all these results?
Nope.
Oh, okay. That's odd, because I am.
Like ping, 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 ping.
Yeah, I was about to say, you don't get to keep rolling until you find something you like. I don't know why I still.
Let me. I'll test quitting out and coming back in.
Yeah, see if that works.
Whether it's because of his relatability, his confidence.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Huh. Yeah, but my colour's now brown.
What? Wait, that's...
Mine's white.
See, I'm seeing that.
There we go, it's working now. Now, can I keep my first roll because it was a 15?
If you'll, if you can actually see.
Oh,
the
guy with a
Oh, I
20.
can't see it. I don't know what my first roll was, but I'll just take whatever it was.
I've forgotten. I think it was
Right, okay.
16 or something, but
Yeah, dice are working after quitting out and coming back in. Oh,
Yeah.
16. Nice. So what was it? It was just... Okay, 17 for me.
If I'm keeping my original one, it's 21. If I'm not, then it's 11.
Aladdin.
Okay, mine's working now.
Aladdin?
What's funny, guy, is on mine, you actually got a 20.
Oh no.
one of them was, yeah.
It's the first one that popped up when I joined back.
Oh. So what was that? 21 from Cal over there.
From Sibyl.
It'll be 8 for me.
It's going to be the highest one there. So Sybil, as you kind of cast a wizened eye over the kind of stores and merchantmen over there, you can see that some of them are selling a fairly potent alcoholic beverage. Even at this time in the morning, you can see that there are quite a few people partaking. The guy seems to be kind of making money hand over fist. But alcohol is a fairly integral part of Tildraish culture, both with and without food. So you can see that these guys are starting to kind of stock up on this strong liquor ahead of the ceremony. You do wonder, however, if this is a good thing or not, as a drunk crowd is often a unruly crowd.
Keep an eye out for the drunks, my friends. Could be causing some trouble later on. Any excuse?
Jeez, this is going to be a complete shambles, isn't it?
Yes. Once the Stella comes out, poof, blimey.
The Stella.
Okay, so other than the kind of questionable beverage choices of some of these citizens, you don't see anything here that looks like it's going to be a kind of major issue. And you can kind of move on and relative ease of this of this. So the next leg kind of takes you on a kind of a steep turn, kind of downhill a little bit, through the kind of mercantile district. So think kind of a lot of storerooms, warehouses, and kind of craft shops available to you. Part of this part of the route kind of is dedicated to kind of Ditryus, the god of prosperity and peace, kind of patron deity of craftsmen. And being quite a wealthy and influential bunch of people, the merchants and the craftsmen tend to get a fair bit of acknowledgement in the public life of the city. The work is, however, kind of strictly controlled by a series of fairly kind of powerful guilds to ensure the high quality is maintained. But you guys kind of stroll through the district, and this area is kind of even busier still. It's just another business day for a lot of these people. The gods are diverting the parades to honour them. They aren't necessarily stopping their work to honour the gods. The flow of people into the city is a prime opportunity for a lot of these people. And so you can see that kind of stores are already starting to kind of stack up shelves outside front doors, and you can see a whole array of products, kind of like hand-woven and kind of embroidered rugs, high-quality furniture gilded with all sorts of precious inlays. The higher-end stuff, really. They're hoping that the parade will attract in the big spenders. And as you kind of walk down the street, you kind of get kind of almost catcalled by a few of these merchants. You there, you madam, you look like you'd appreciate a fine silken dress. Sophia, this merchant chap, kind of comes up to you, holding this, in his defense, lovely silken gown, kind of a nice deep emerald color. Look, it's right your size.
The fuck off. Intimidate.
Yeah, roll me to intimidate.
It just makes it a whole lot more.
Unnatural 20.
He backs the fuck off.
Excellent.
Sorry to bother you, man. How about you, my lady? You look like you might be a more feminine figure. And he tries it. He tries it on again for you there, Solna.
She's just going to glare at him. Absolutely no words, just glares at him.
Roll me an intimidation.
Is it like the time of the month in sync for you two or something?
Absolutely.
Are we role playing menstrual cycles now?
We have been questing together for quite a while, so
he takes your it's a nat one is what it is. He takes your kind of icy silence as kind of concealed interest. I mean, he knows people haggle a fair amount. The people with money, most of all, oddly enough, it's kind of a sport to them. So he thinks he's onto somebody with quite a deep purse. He kind of hammers it home. Look here, feel the craftsmanship in here. And he kind of rubs the arm of this dress kind of up to your cheek. Lovely, isn't it? Oh, you could wear it and feel like you were almost wearing nothing at all. It's that light. For you, you look like a lady with an eye for a bargain. So I'll throw in a little special discount for you. I'll give this to you for the grand price of 57 marks.
Solna panics. She shakes her head and just backs away really fast.
Oh well, playing hard to get, are we? You know what? I've had a fairly good week. I'll knock it down. I'll do it to 55 marks for you. That's a steal. If I go any lower than that, I'd be basically paying you to take it off my hands.
No, thanks. no, thank you. Bye. She's going to stride off down the street.
You can kind of see he kind of stops and looks a little dejected at this. But he very quickly gets over it and starts pestering the next kind of set of noble-looking women he can find. So the rest of you, while this is going on, I'm assuming have been kind of laughing with a fair amount of kind of concealed laughter at Solna's expense. But you've kind of turned your eye to the rest of the merchants. It seems they've got all sorts of products out here. You do worry, however, that if their stalls stay kind of up and their trade continues, that it could potentially pose a bit of a blockage for some of the kind of the clergy dragging some of their larger relics.
Perhaps we should insist they move back towards the sides of the street.
He says to himself.
I think I might be able to help persuade them.
Would there be like a head merchant or
Roll me a perception.
Okay. That would be an 8.
Do you find it very hard to kind of make out exactly any social order from this? Most of the merchants are kind of on their own, at each of their own separate tables. Most of them are trying to draw in customers and don't seem to be interacting much with each other to give it away.
May not be as easy as it sounds.
So, Jackto, roll me a history check.
That is a 22.
Okay, so whilst you can't see any for the who looks to be in overall charge here, you know that these craftsmen will all answer to kind of one of these guilds. You realise it's going to be very probable that there's a guild's representative working somewhere in this street, and you know that the kind of most prominent guild around here, they kind of like to mark their authority quite well, and their operatives always kind of as a point of pride wear kind of nice cloaks and a large kind of brooch embossed with the kind of the guild's crest, which is a crossed hammer and paintbrush. So you realise that you could probably find this guy. You'd have your guy to talk to.
Can I see someone like that around?
Roll me a perception.
It's just 11. Oh wow!
You can see that there are a few people wearing cloaks. Kind of one of them is busy talking to a merchant, selling kind of nice set of what looks to be garden furniture. There's another one though standing kind of in the middle of a street, kind kind of with a clipboard. You can't. He's got his back to you, so you can't really see any brooch of sorts. But he looks reasonably like an authority figure.
Come on, everyone, let's talk to this chap and get them to shuffle over.
So you kind of approach this guy from the back, and you kind of get to him without him noticing you. He's very involved with whatever it is he's doing, which, from what you could tell, involves a lot of pointing. As you draw closer, he does.
Hello.
He turns to you.
Excuse me, sir.
Whatever it is, can it wait? We're very busy here. He kind of flashes you this kind of this brooch, and you can see it is the crossed hammer and paintbrush. He seems to be preoccupied. He seems to be quite flustered. Yes, whatever it is, it will have to wait. This is guild business. Please stand aside.
Yes, well, this is clergy business, and obviously with our parade this evening, you'll have to shuffle some of your folks to the side of the road. Terribly sorry.
Shuffle people to the side. We can't do that. We've got people's inventories out here. They've come a long way to sell these goods, and I'll be damned if I deny them the opportunity.
Well, they'll have to sell them somewhere else. Sorry. I shoot a cocky smile.
He kind of looks at you, almost as if he's wondering if you're actually being serious. There's plenty of room in these streets. Look, and he kind of gestures, and there's about 10 feet of kind of clear room, and then people are kind of walking in what might be another 5 feet either side of that. We definitely fit a parade of yours through here. If we move everybody in here, we stand to lose a fortune. And you could see that, to his mind, he's thinking of the parade itself, and that could probably. However, you know from experience of doing this before, where the parade goes, the crowd follows, and there is not going to be room for a large horde of people alongside all these.
Well, put it this way, my man. 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing. So you either move to the side of the road, or we'll have you shut down.
He stops at that. You don't have that kind of authority.
No, but I have that kind of power. Move.
Ooh. Roll me an intimidation, I think, for that.
Oh, let's fucking go, bro! That is 21.
So, kind of as you say this, your kind of temper flares up a bit, and a few embers appear at your fingertips, almost involuntarily. Which he notices. Look, don't do anything rash. We're just trying to make a bit of money here. It's honestly, who do you think funds your damn temple? So you can kind of see that he's got your point, but he's not happy by any means. And you're probably going to hear something later about intimidating guilds, but you don't really care. This was your task. And you can see already that he's kind of heading over in the direction of one of these merchants, and after a few words with him, and from the looks of it, a fair bit of dismay on the part of the merchant, a lot of kind of raised hands and arguing. He kind of grudgingly starts moving some of his stock back into his store. And he moves on to the next. So you can see that it looks like, for now at least, he is complying with your request to move.
Well, Thank goodness that didn't require much fire starting, did it?
You are quick to the temper, Jack.
I am, I suppose, yes.
Quick to temper or not, he's certainly effective at what he does. You've never kind of truly had to see Jack Toe's full powers brought to bear on anything, but you kind of get the impression from his mannerisms and kind of the aura he gives out that you wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of it. So you kind of carry on, and kind of the third and final leg, which is kind of a return part of this parade, kind of brings you kind of back off towards kind of the almost a residential section of the city. However, this isn't the kind of a rich, affluent area you would have expected to have the parade routed through. In fact, it wouldn't be here at all if it weren't for your temple master kind of exercising his own personal influence to kind of make it happen. But he's a firm believer in that the gods are not persuaded by the weight of one's coin purse, but by the sincerity of one's prayer. And he's kind of known for his drive in bringing religion to the kind of masses. As you come through, you can see that although the buildings are still very kind of intact and well kept, they're kind of approaching the smaller side of the spectrum. But here it is getting a bit busier. Lots of kind of people are gathering now, and you can see that a lot of them are kind of young families, kind of women with small children, people kind of lining the streets, just genuinely looking forward to the day's events. None of them look to be particularly well dressed or kind of wearing any jewelry of note, but they seem to be happy at kind of the fact that they're getting kind of a front row seat to the parade. But as you're kind of walking through, everybody roll me a stealth check.
Clunk, clunk.
Oh no.
Oh, fuck me, that's really good.
14.
Pascal, remember you're at disadvantage because you're in chainmail. Unfortunately, because that wasn't that 20.
Wait, am I at disadvantage?
Oh, well.
I think I am.
Yeah. 19 of the 20 at disadvantage.
Nice.
23.
Well, the first one was a 9. So 9.
So as you
got
kind of
+3 to that as well.
so, despite the chainmail, you move quite stealthy, trying to make sure you're not the centre of attention. However, Falme, you kind of can't really hide the clunking of your armour, and this very quickly starts to draw quite a bit of attention from the crowd. And you kind of hear from somewhere in the back, "Look, it's one of the temple guard. They've come to bless us ahead of the parade." And before you can even react to this, like, you're just getting swarmed by people, kind of all ages and that, kind of reaching out, trying to kind of place a hand on you and kind of touch you in some way. There's a suspicion, well, kind of superstition really, that kind of the temple guards bring luck to those who kind of cross their path. It's kind of the origin of it is long since lost to history, but it's kind of held firm. So a lot of these kind of people are now trying to get up close and touch you. The rest of you managed to kind of keep away from this. So you kind of sidestep these kind of, well, not desperate, but enthusiastic people as they kind of swarm over Falmer. Please, sir. Please, sir. And just the woman kind of pushes a baby in your direction. Won't you bless him?
Sure, but I'm a little short on time. Let me just I just lay my hand on the head of the baby, and I don't say anything. I just close my eyes.
So, having kind of seen this, kind of the crowd kind of almost redouble their efforts, and before long, you've got lots of kind of parents kind of pushing small children at you. Kind of, do mine, no, mine. How about my son? He needs to be blessed. He has weak bones. You could tell you're going to be here all day at this rate.
I just look over to the others, see if they're looking at me, and I'll kind of gesture for them to sort of go ahead, and I'll catch up when I can get away from the crowd.
Okay, so you kind of start the task of resting your hand on kind of each proffered forehead. So the rest of you can kind of see. It looks like Falbear has accepted his fate, and he beckons for you to proceed.
He's a capable man. I'm sure he'll find his way out.
Okay. So, Farmer, you kind of continue to get stuck into this kind of mass blessing that you're kind of in the process of dishing out, and the rest of you kind of carry on through this this kind of neighborhood, and it's kind of more of the same, really. You just get the impression that people are they've got high hopes for the day's event. It'll be good for them both as a kind of just raw entertainment value, but also kind of spiritually. It looks as if the Grand Master's attempts to bring religion to the masses seems to have really kind of hit a note with quite a lot of them. And they seem to be out in force to kind of appreciate the most spiritual day of the year. But you get to the end, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any problems here. And you turn back kind of on the roads towards the temple complex. It only takes you about 10 minutes to kind of return to the gates. And as you enter the complex, you can kind of see straight away this kind of procession is starting to form. A lot of the clergy have kind of taken up these kind of not quite stretchers, but almost like portable tables, and on them you can see statues and kind of relics, things that the temple holds in quite high esteem, and the kind of a focus of many of your religious ceremonies. A lot of these, though, come from areas within the temple that are usually off limits to the general public, which is another reason why the crowd seems to be so large. It's a good opportunity for people to kind of connect with some of these more rare and holy relics that are being displayed. And you can see that as this is all being organised, the Grand Master is there, and he's kind of hurrying backwards and forwards, making sure everything's in place. But he kind of stops near the largest of these kind of stretcher things. I don't know what the word for those is called. Reliquary. But anyway, he stops near it, and you can kind of the kind of pride of place on this stretcher is a kind of a glass cabinet, and within it are kind of a set of it's a very skeletal figure, kind you can see that it was once a Tildraish, but one that died a significant time ago, to the point where the kind of skin has kind of become a leathery coating to the bones. There's very little organic matter left, but you can see from his mannerisms, it's a very, very rare, very holy relic of a temple. Palanquin, that's the one. Thank you, Gal. So the kind of the rituals and incense is already kind of started and has been lit. Obviously, with all these relics on display, a certain degree of decorum has to be maintained at all times. But as you draw near, Zoxar, he kind of turns and sees your approach. The Vanguard returns. Tell me, how does the city look today?
There is plenty taking advantage of the situation. There's alcohol being sold in plenty. The merchants are getting away with what they can. But it looks like it will be a hectic day.
Well, I'm sure Detrius will be glad to hear that the prosperity is well and truly in place. And he kind of makes a hand symbol that you recognise as kind of a holy mark of the god of prosperity and peace. Wait, I could have sworn. What happened to Falmir?
He is making some blessings amongst the populace.
I see. That's very noble of him. I do hope he manages to get away before next week. I am, however, gladdened to hear that the common folk are embracing their spiritual souls. It wasn't always this way.
No?
No. The Merchants Guild were once more powerful than they are now, but we've managed to convince many that wealth is not something you own, but something you build, something you develop within oneself. I'm glad to see that message is starting to take hold.
Somewhat.
Well, I think we're looks like we're just about ready. Wait a minute. He kind of hurries back to the kind of the back of the crowd and starts talking to some of the at the back of the parade, these guys are kind of the novices of the temple staff. I mean, these are the people who have only just been ordained. And you can kind of hear him as you kind of follow on. What do you mean he isn't here? Where could he? What would he be doing? He knows exactly how important this detail is. He kind of turns to. He turns back to you, Sybil. It looks like we might have a change of plans. Seems that one of my initiates has neglected to be here on the most important day of his career. Throw me an insight check for me, Sybil.
Insight. 21.
You detect a flash of anger on the Grandmaster's face. Something you've never really seen him do before. He's quite a calm person, but it seems that the absence of his initiates has kind of really rubbed him the wrong way. Looks like I might have to have 3 of you take up their positions on the palanquin. I know it's not what you were expecting, but I would be grateful if you would oblige me with this.
Well, these old bones wouldn't make very well for carrying such a thing. Sybil will turn to the others and see if anyone will step forward.
Solna steps forward.
Thank you, my dear. Then he kind of looks expectantly at the others. He's kind of framed this as a request, but it's an order, really. He's trying to be polite about it, but he very much expects you're told as the temple's guard.
Well, perhaps we can find Thalmir. I'm sure he would be able to take up the palanquin.
At this moment in time, Thalmir is kind of trying to push this infant child out of his face so that he can breathe enough to bless him. But he is kind of still up to his armpits in kind of the well-to-do citizens of the less affluent ward. No, don't be ridiculous. I won't deny the people a blessing just for the laziness of our temple guard. Jackto, Al, step to it.
Fine.
Good. Honestly, I don't ask much of you people.
Honestly.
Okay, as you request.
Well, I see no point in waiting. Although I will say I am a little bit concerned that our plainclothes escort is diminished in number, but we make do, as the gods decree.
I'm sure we'll meet up with him again on the route and we can rest him away.
Yes, I imagine once the parade gets there, he'll very quickly stop being centre of attention.
Of course.
Well, let's get to it. He kind of leaves you kind of with a few of the other initiates who are carrying this palanquin. They kind of scooch over to make sure you guys have kind of got enough of a kind of a purchase to lift this thing. It's not heavy. As I said, the bones are desiccated and there's very little weight to them. In fact, while you're at it, Jack, so because you're in close proximity, roll me a history check.
Oh. That's 26.
So you kind of take the time while the Grand Master is organising the procession before it heads out to kind of have a read of the kind of brass little plate on the side. And you can see that it's just inscribed as Saint Hostas. And this immediately rings a bell to you. Hostas was one of the original magi in the conclave that banished Koftara.
Oh, cool.
The temple has kept his remains interred here to kind of honour him and make sure that his name is kind of remembered for the great service that he did to the Tildraish people. So this is a relic that would usually not see the light of day, and the common folk would have no hope of kind of having access to this. But kind of on this day, celebrating, in fact, the very deeds he performed, you can tell this is going to be a popular object of attention.
Can we roll a perception to see how flammable the remains are?
Oh, God.
They are encased in glass.
Okay.
So
if Jackstow starts throwing firebolts around, it might get interesting.
The only case of a saint being martyred after his death. So before too long, you see the kind of the gates open. Kind of a procession starts to move forward. A kind of slow march. And you can kind of hear already kind of a roar of a crowd up ahead of you. So the first out the door are these other guards who you kind of woke up with this morning, and they are kind of clad in kind of beautiful ceremonial plate. It's kind of majority silver, and kind of the polish they've put into it is really catching the sun now. But like the kind of fine detail and inlay is kind of all done in kind of gold leaf, and the kind of carvings in it are just exquisite. It's a display of kind of status and wealth of the temple, really, kind of thinly veiled to just show that whilst they may not be nobles or kind of merchants, they still hold a considerable deal of authority in this city. So they kind of go out, a few in front of the procession, and then many kind of along the sides, keeping the crowds at kind of a respectful distance. As you kind of go through this main thoroughfare in the city, you can kind of see that there's a little bit of a raised plinth off to one side, and you can see that there are quite a few of these people sat in quite fancy chairs with looks like servants of some sort holding large umbrellas over. It seems that the aristocrats are in town for the event. And these people are sparing no expense at displaying this kind of wealth and status. The clothes kind of that they're wearing put the fine emerald dress you saw earlier to shame. Like, they're rags in comparison. Kind of the jewellery you're pretty sure could fund the temple for a year if you were to collect all of it in. And then probably some more after that. There's a lot of money on display, and they're very keen to make sure that the commoners see it, hence the raised plinth. But as you kind of march through this town, you see that the kind of the drunkenness you were potentially anticipating hasn't really manifested itself too much. But people seem to be kind of buzzing a little bit, but they're kind of happy rather than belligerent. Most of them are quite glad of the kind of the nature of today's celebrations. It's a day of victory, really, for the people, and people are celebrating it as such. So people are out here for a good time. No one's really looking for a fight. So you keep your eyes on the crowd there, Sybil, as you kind of keep to the side there with Sophia. The rest of you who are kind of on the palanquin, you could just feel the kind of the atmosphere is incredible. Kind of being in the center of all this attention. Kind of the just devotion you can kind of feel from the crowd. They seem to be really enjoying the day. But you kind of make your way through without any real events unfolding. I mean, you get a few members of the public who try and get a bit too close, but the ceremonial guard keep them at bay with a little bit of a nudge. Nothing kind of gets out of hand. But you turn the corner and come onto this street. You can see that the merchants are still taking a little bit of liberty here. They've moved their stalls back, but it's enough to let people pass, but they're still trying to sell wares to anyone who will buy them.
Can I see the guild member?
So from your kind of position on the palanquin, you're kind of on the left-hand side of this thing, and you kind of cast your eyes. And you can kind of see him stood against kind of a wall of one of these shops. He seems to be looking on both at the procession that's coming and the crowd, and you can kind of see him start to wriggle one of the tables back just a few feet more.
I just give him a friendly wave.
So you give him a wave with one of your hands, and the palanquin kind of dips a little bit at your corner, but you very quickly kind of catch it before anything bad happens to the priceless remains kind of borne on top of them. So you guys pass through, but you can kind of start to see that the crowds who are in the kind of main thoroughfare are getting bottlenecked a little bit by it. And the merchants are starting to realise that there might actually be more people here than there's a comfortable level to have all this nice and valuable produce just lying around. But you kind of march onwards and kind of leave them to their problems. You know, they made their bed, now they're lying in it. And finally, you turn onto this kind of final leg, where you kind of see a very relieved Falmir who has finally managed to get free. As this kind of procession has rounded the corner, and the first cries of "It's here!" ring out. People have kind of run off to see that without even so much as a thank you. But the spirituality might not be fully there yet, but they're learning, which is good enough for you, I'm sure. So you kind of see the procession coming, Falmir, and you kind of take up your position alongside Sophia in a little bit, kind of.
Yeah.
But you can see now that the Grand Master is kind of smiling as he leads the procession through this part of town. He's clearly quite happy with the turnout. This has really been his life's work, trying to get such a kind of a high turnout from the common folk. And he's kind of waving to people as he goes. But as you're rolling along, everybody roll me a perception.
That's a 5.
11.
19.
Ah!
5.
Wow, we are a little distracted, everybody.
To be fair, it's a busy day. So Al, you're kind of still manning this palanquin, and as you kind of just strolling along, you're a little bit distracted at this point, but absent-minded. You kind of look to the sky for a bit. You see a bit of smoke in the distance. But it doesn't look like this is coming from a chimney. This is quite thick, black smoke. Kind of in the opposite direction from the temple.
Oh. How far would we assume, or how far would Al assume it was?
Hard to tell with all the rooftops in the way, but you'd probably guess about 500 meters or so, at a guess.
The rapid mood changes and aggressive behaviour.
Oh.
Yeah, but you've only...
And where are... What is it? Sophia and Sybil. How close are they to Al?
So they're kind of they're staying within sight. So if you were to kind of gesture or something, they'd very quickly pick up on it.
Yeah, so Al's going to do exactly that. He's going to try and take as much of the weight as he can on his shoulder. Have a look around, see which one's closest.
So kind of on your side of the palanquin, you're probably going to be closest to Sophia and Falmir.
Alright, okay. Fair enough. I'll try and make a little wave at them to get their attention. And I'll point at my eyes and then point at towards the sky at the smoke.
So you two, you kind of see Al kind of gesture upwards, kind of for you to direct your eyes up. And sure enough, a fairly large plume of smoke starting to really kind of get quite kind of thick and black here now.
Is the black smoke in the direction that the parade is due to be heading?
No, it's kind of off and slightly behind and to the left.
Okay.
So this smoke is kind of growing a little more distant as the parade keeps on going. So while you guys are kind of looking at this, Sophia, roll me another perception check. Sophia?
Go.
There it is.
That's 17.
You can see a second kind of smoke plume starting to rise a little further back from the first. And by now, a few people in the crowd have started to notice this. You can almost feel the kind of panic in the crowd as kind of, you know, the word fire, fire, fire starts to get kind of passed along or repeated. And the kind of the mood goes very quickly from kind of adoration to kind of alarm.
Sybil will use an action to transform into the wild shape into an owl and fly up to investigate.
Okay, very cool. So, in fact, describe to me the transformation process.
So it's sort of like, okay. He's wearing a long cloak that covers most of his veins. So he taps his staff onto the floor and like flings open his cloak, which quickly forms into wings, and he just shrinks and whoosh straight up into the sky. A little puff of kind of sparks as it goes.
So you kind of transform and take flight. As you kind of head off in the direction, you can kind of see from your kind of bird's eye view that there's what appears to be a kind of house fire in full swing, which has kind of given rise to this first kind of plume of smoke. And as you draw nearer, you actually get a nice bit of updraft from the smoke, and you kind of gain a bit of altitude. You can kind of see that the second smoke likewise appears to be another building on fire.
Can I see any activity around the buildings?
The first few kind of responders are starting to arrive, and kind of people are grabbing buckets and kind of running to kind of source water from the nearest wells and any other sources they can find.
And nothing else to see except for the two burning buildings?
Roll me a perception.
Okay, I get advantage.
With advantage because you're an owl, yeah.
Yeah. Come on. Oh, it's a 17.
You can start to see the kind of first whiffs of another fire starting.
Whereabouts?
Not too far. For an owl, it would take you seconds to kind of fly and get eyes on.
Does there appear to be a pattern to these fires?
Not that you can see. However, as you kind of fly overhead this third building, which very quickly starts to burn, faster than you'd think for really a mostly stone building. You can kind of see three kind of hooded figures kind of dashing off into a side street. It's quite narrow. It's quite narrow, and you can see there are a few tops, not tarpaulins. What's the word? Kind of like hung woolen covers to keep the shade in this alleyway. So you lose sight of these three, but it seems that they were hurrying away from the start of that fire in quite a suspicious manner.
Okay. I'm going to return to the party and relay the information.
So you kind of fill everyone in on this. Having seen you wild form and fly off, the kind of Grand Master is obviously curious to know what's happening, so he kind of comes, and assuming you're going to fill him in as well.
Yes. Yeah. There is something afoot in the city. There are mysterious people causing fires and maybe trying to cause a panic.
I promise it wasn't me.
No, it was three figures. They're moving building to building. This is a great concern. If the fire spreads, there could be many people hurt.
Probably just some young punks. No. I used to start a few fires when I was young.
No. This is not natural. This is very dangerous.
Burning all the internet boxes.
Yeah, it was me all along. It was character building.
So you can kind of see that there's kind of a deep look of concern on his face. Who would do such a thing on such a holy day? I fear you're right, though. The city is more crowded than usual. If we were to let this get out of hand, we could lose many lives. He looks into the crowd and he gestures for three kind of men to come forward. Congratulations. Today you are serving the gods. Please, would you take the place of these men here? And he kind of gestures for them to kind of take your place, Jackto and Al, on the palanquin. I need you to put a stop to this. We can't let it get out of hand.
Of course. Follow me. I'll lead us to where I last spotted them.
Quickly. I will await for you in the temple. I'll hurry the rest of us back. We're going to have to cut this parade short. And so he kind of turns away and starts to kind of go down the procession and kind of tell the kind of the carriers that the plan is now to kind of make a beeline straight for the temple and kind of disperse the crowds to get people to safety. So yeah, you guys are obviously now the alarm has kind of started to thin the crowd as people kind of put some distance between themselves and the smoke. But you guys are kind of left in the street now to kind of plot and deliberate.
Well, as I said, I can lead us to where I last spotted them. And we'll have to track them from there.
Did you see any details of these people?
No, from above I could only see that they were cloaked, hooded. I couldn't make out any green.
Actually, at that point, probably roll me a religion check.
Oh, okay. Uh, 17.
These were the robes of initiates.
Ah. Well, They were wearing the robes of the initiates of the order. There were 3 initiates that didn't turn up. This is... I don't like this. These are ill omens.
Let us not jump to conclusions, but we know what to look for.
So, Sybil, you kind of lead these guys through the kind of back streets, kind of cutting through a lot of the properties and that to kind of cover the ground quickly. And you come to the first building, and it's an inferno still. Kind of the stone itself is scorched. Kind of the contents you can tell already are just going to be completely unsalvageable. You just hope there was no one inside. Jack, so roll me a Arcana with advantage. Seeing as this is up your street.
Okay. Yeah, it might be. It's 21.
This is a result of a firebolt spell.
Well, whoever's doing it is using magic. Would I know any initiates who are capable of doing that?
So a lot of the temple staff are in some way or other gifted magically. As kind of scholars, magic is kind of a big part of the syllabus. Obviously, Magi holds a fair amount of respect in Tildraish society. So you kind of have quite a list of people to choose from.
Whoever it is, we have to find them and stop this.
Yes. I'm concerned about their motives for this, though. It's too much of a coincidence for this to be occurring today. Come on, we must find them.
So, well, obviously nothing to be done about this one. You lead them to the next... in fact, where would you lead them? To the kind of second house, or the kind of one that was only just starting to burn?
Probably to the one that was just starting to burn, see if we can pick up the trail.
So you kind of lead them to where you saw these kind of guys disappear. And kind of from the ground, you can see that this alleyway is kind of just as narrow as it looked from the air. And what's more, it looks like the stone... the kind of grounds is kind of a cobbled stone. Obviously, the kind of perpetrators kind of kept on fleeing after you saw them leave. But kind of efforts are being made to extinguish this, and as you kind of get close, you can kind of start to see a kind of a chain gang being formed and buckets of water being kind of passed out. And it looks like this one, it might be possible to save the building. It looks at least like it won't spread.
So
We're trying. Can I see any sort of signs nearby of where someone may have cast a firebolt from?
Yes, roll an investigation.
Uh, 16.
So you kind of have a look around for a little bit, but eventually you kind of find a spot about 20 feet from the house. You can see that kind of the cobbled street kind of bears a semicircular scorch pattern on the tiles, as if a very sudden wave of heat had appeared at the spot. And you can see this kind of directed towards the kind of front window of the house.
Looks like this is where they cast the spell from.
Any idea when they went from that?
Certainly not my expertise. Anybody got decent survival?
Yeah, can I attempt to pick up the tracks? Any tracks they may have left?
So you kind of go to the alley where the kind of massive people aren't treading. It looks like the stone is kind of fairly old and has a reasonable layer of grime on it. Roll me a survival, please.
Uh, 17.
So you can kind of see that in this kind of layer of muck, there are in fact, albeit very, very faint, but a series of footsteps. You kind of make out the tracks of three people. And you kind of follow from a few hundred yards down this kind of winding alley. And it kind of gets to a kind of a fork, kind of like a crossroad, where this back alley kind of intersects another one. But you can see that out of the three paths ahead of you, each set of footsteps goes down a different one.
They appear to have split up. They may be setting more fires throughout the city. But which one do we follow?
Is there any sign which one might be the magic user?
Roll me an Arcana.
It's 25.
So you, as a fire user yourself, you know that after casting a lot of this fire magic, you kind of give off a fairly strong aura of heat for a while. And if this guy presumably fled immediately after casting, you kind of assume that he would still have some of this kind of afterburn going. And you can kind of see on kind of one of the walls, it's kind of a handprint, not quite burned into the stone, but like you can see where some of the kind of the grime has been kind of singed a little bit.
Well, if you want to find the dangerous one, he went this way.
Perhaps the leader of the group? Yes, let's track this one.
Sulfate-free, vegan and cruelty-free.
Well, we're only after the one who started the fire. Let's kick his ass.
So you kind of follow this. Again, it's another very winding back alley. It's not a very rich zone, so it doesn't look like this is particularly well maintained. But you kind of follow it for a while. The streets they lead you back out onto another huge street, and kind of people are kind of bustling. The crowd is incredibly thick, and you just have no hope of following these tracks anymore. They're completely kind of stamped out by a mass of people. However, as you kind of stop, you kind of hear a crack of thunder behind you. And as you kind of turn to look, you kind of start to see dark, very ominous clouds forming over the peak of the temple.
Do I recognize this magic?
No, you do not.
Okay.
But you do know it is magic of some nature. Because it was up until now a lovely day. So this hasn't got unnoticed, obviously. And you kind of see that heads are turning. like the crowd is obviously concerned at this, and you start to hear a few of the kind of people shouting, "It is an omen! The gods are displeased! The fires and now the storms! We have invoked their wrath!"
We should return to the temple.
Agreed.
So you're obviously now trying to kind of push against the flow of people. It seems that this kind of religious fervour that the Grand Master has been trying to install in people might have backfired a little bit now. They seem to think that this means that the gods are angry and they're trying to put some distance between them and the temple. But you kind of keep on kind of pushing your way through. As you go, you've kind of got just the muscle of kind of soul and Falmir kind of leading the way, kind of forming a bit of a wedge. But it takes you about 15 minutes to kind of push your way back through to the temple. And you can kind of see people are running kind of backwards and forwards. There seems to be a bit of pandemonium there. And you can kind of see kind of in the middle of this all, Zaxar is kind of directing what appears to be a few of these temple guards. And he's kind of sent them out into the city just as you come. Good, you're here. Could use your help right now. It seems that he kind of points up to the kind of the top of the temple. I know we don't usually let the guard up there, but I'm willing to make an exception. Just this once, it seems that we may need your help. Come, follow me. I warn you, it'll be a long climb, but we need to hurry. I fear the worst may have happened. So he kind of starts marching up, and as you kind of are going with him, you kind of fall in behind him, and he starts to kind of tell you a little bit about what he thinks is happening. Now, it's not something we broadly advertise, and it would cause a stir if it ever became common knowledge, but here in the temple, we have a relic that we don't even bring out to mark the union of the Magi. I'm sure you are all familiar with the legends of our people. Well, when the city was founded, were tasked with the sacred duty of guarding one of the keystones. This blow, this news comes like a hammer blow. I mean, you've all been raised on the stories of kind of Union of the Magi and kind of how they bound Koftara into these 5 keystones. So to know that one of them was here, kind of under your noses, at all times, that's that's a hell of a revelation to suddenly be kind of informed of.
Do you think someone is after the keystone, sir?
I fear they might be, but I don't know how they could possibly know of its existence. We keep the location very secret. Only a handful of people in the clergy know about it. Well, I mean, we haven't even told you until now. But what we see up there, and he kind of points to the sky, that is powerful magic, and I can't help but fear the worst.
Well, let's do our duty.
So he kind of marches you to the top of the pyramid. It's quite a hefty climb, and you can kind of see now behind you the kind of the whole city. You can kind of see even to the kind of the outer curtain wall, kind of stretching behind you. The the kind of the fires seems that kind of one of them at least is still burning. You can kind of see the pandemonium kind of unfolding down below. You kind of crest this kind of top of this pyramid, and it kind of levels out to a kind of a very grand ceremonial area. Kind of in the kind of center of the back, kind of near a large altar, you see a kind of a robed figure looking away from you, staring into what appears to be some form of magical gateway. You can see that to his left and right are kind of two more hooded figures, kind of each of their own separate altar. And as the kind of Grand Master crests the region, sees these people, he recognizes immediately the robes. Some of our own. We've been betrayed. How could this happen? He seems personally hurt, but his own clergymen are kind of responsible for this.
These must be the ones who set the fire.
Yeah, those punks were making a distraction, it seems.
So the kind of middle one seems to have heard you. And he kind of turns around, and as he steps kind of back, you can see this kind of cube of a very kind of yellowy. However, in the top of it, you can see a kind of a large dagger sticking in, and there doesn't seem to be any particular glow about this stone. And kind of just behind it, you can kind of see the flickering of this magical gateway or some form of aberration that's kind of fading in and out of existence very faintly. The other two seem to ignore you, though. But as he turns, he kind of grins and smiles. Ah, good evening to you, Grand Master. I'm glad you could join us. Brother Quintilius. What have you done? Oh, only what you should have done many years ago, my good man.
What?
You have no idea what you've brought upon us. Oh no, that's just it, Grandmaster. I have plenty of idea. And I have ideas of how I can bring more. You've doomed us. You've doomed us all. Well, no, I've doomed you. Me, personally, well, the matriarch, she's promised me rewards of a nature that's, let's just say they're very generous. Oh? What's that? Oh, I can hear something. I think she's got a gift for you, Grandmaster. He's right. You can kind of feel kind of trembling on top of this this temple, and kind of out of this kind of rift in the fabric of reality, you kind of see a huge black foot kind of step forward, and kind of where it lands, you can see the stone kind of cracks underneath the weight of it. Some vicious kind of talons dig in. And you watch in a horror as this creature of mythology pulls itself into your existence. Now, does anybody speak Draconic?
I don't think I took it.
No.
Not me.
Damn, I speak Primordial, but not Draconic.
No, I don't.
This creature lets out a bellowing rumble noise, the sound of which you could only compare to the kind of a crackling of thunder and lightning. Whatever it meant is lost to the air. Everybody roll initiative.
Here we go.
Quintilius.
Fucking A, dude. How old is this boy? Oh, Krampus.
Mine's cocked and it's not telling me what. No, there it is.
I think it's just. Yeah, I think Crispy's having some lag. Because it's showing me his ping's like 300 at the minute.
Quite possibly.
Cool. So with my minus
Which
one
one
for
was
the
Quintilius
full
again?
one,
Was he the mage?
that's a
He
one.
was the mage Alistair was
That's
reporting.
Kavtara. Holy shit.
What did you say, Jason?
Is he not
Oh,
Quintilius
that
the mage that Alistair reports to?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the silver master mage that killed Titus's family.
No, that is not Quintilius. You are thinking of Wolf.
Wolfric. Yeah.
Wolfric works for Alistair, who works for Cotillius. I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
They're all in on this shit.
I'm ready to smite this bitch.
I was just waiting for earlier when you were with those kids, you just lay your hands and accidentally channel smite.
Smite one of them. Yeah. Get your hands, peasant.
Yeah.
I'll give you a blessing.
And finally.
Oh my god, this is on fire. That's actually fucking amazing.
It's also cool, isn't it?
Can you guys see that little portal?
Oh, the
Yeah.
photos.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, this is mint.
That's cool as fuck.
This is so good.
Okay, so this. Actually, I've forgotten one. Actually, so that's going to be 5. So, if you guys place yourself kind of in this semicircle somewhere. So this creature is obviously something you've never seen. The kind of monstrosities had long since been banished by the time. But you've read myths about them, kind of stories that parents would tell children. These kind of horrible creatures that leave them if they're bad. This one looks like it'll eat you if you're bad or not. But it is very real, and it is kind of looking around it. It looks to be kind of taking in its surroundings. So, kind of as we're coming up here, you can. In fact, actually, you kind of notice that obviously your attention being drawn by this huge creature. You can no longer see Quintilius.
Little fucking bitch.
Where was Quintilius standing?
Right by the portal.
Okay.
The Zoxar starts, you see him make kind of a sign again in front of him. Oh, by the gods. The rest of you, buy me some time. I think I can close that portal, but I'll need you to keep them off of me.
Very well.
Okay. So, Sybil, you are up first.
Oh, let me look through my 1,000,001 spells.
Just druid things.
I'll try and be quick, sorry. Should we go for an old druid classic? I'll cast Moonbeam at 3rd level on this guy.
Okay.
So it's... Let me find it. A silvery beam of pale until the spell when the creature enters the spell area for the first time on a turn. Ah, shit. Okay. Made a mistake. Right, okay, yeah. So on the start of its next turn, it'll be forced to make I'm just double check and read through these. This is literally 1,000 spells for Druid, and
Yeah,
I've never played it before, so Okay, when a creature enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, it's engulfed in ghostly flames that cause searing pain. It must make a Constitution saving throw. It takes 3d10 radiant damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one.
Okay. So this kind of beam of light cuts down through the clouds and kind of engulfs this kind of surprised-looking chap.
So it'll be on the start of its turn when it'll take the damage. And
okay.
No, okay, that's it. I'm done.
Okay, so now that the ritual seems to have been completed, the chap over by this altar kind of turns and kind of looks in awe to this creature. He's going to come make his way over. I can see the things. And he is actually going. He kind of extends his arms and kind of starts to kind of chant something to this dragon. In kind of the same guttural language you heard this thing utter. The dragon lazily turns its head down towards this thing, kind of eyes him up. But he listens to what he has to say. And then you see its head kind of turn and stare kind of past this statue, looking at you lot. So the cultist is going to use help on the dragon.
Oh.
Jackto.
He's going to cast Mage Armor on himself, first of all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to do as his bonus action, he's going to Misty Step back in here. Bye, guys.
So what does that Mage Armor bring your AC up to now?
That brings him up to 18.
18. Okay. Okay, so the...
Oh, wait, no, sorry. It brings him up to 14.
Sorry. 14.
Not
so
quite.
the next kind of priest turns... immediately this light seems to engulf him, so he's going to make that. What was the DC, Cal? Probably higher than
70.
Probably higher. So yeah. So he's kind of immediately dazzled by this thing. You can see the kind of light.
It's
kind of swirling around him.
Yeah, 3d10 radiant damage. Oh my good god! Oh.
Oh my god! One in 1,000. That's literally
so
1,000.
He very quickly kind of steps out of it, kind of takes his hand away from his eyes. Seems to have dodged the worst of it.
The worst of it.
But he kind of steps down, kind of here, and he's kind of take a little bit of cover behind this pillar. Let's see. He is, if he's in range, let me just quickly bring up what the range actually is. Got it here somewhere.
It's good to see that Rulin's misfortune with rolls isn't unique to him.
I'm glad it's carried over.
Can I switch spots with someone else? Like maybe get a new dice tray. Maybe.
I think that's actually out of range.
The one you want, yes, the one you want is Pascal's.
Yeah.
I don't know, not today. I think they're.
Dude, you rolled a 19 and a 20 on a disadvantage. I don't want to hear.
But everything else is a 10.
This guy, he kind of steps behind this fence, this pillar, And he kind of stretches out his kind of hands, and he is actually pointing at you there, Sybil. You can't hear what he's saying, but he's clearly murmuring something under his breath. And that's the end of his go. So, Aladdin and Sophia, you guys are tied, so up to you.
So, what are you thinking? Guy, do you mind?
You first, mate.
Alright, okay. I have a query. How long is 1 minute in terms of like combat?
10 turns.
10 turns.
Cool. Totally gonna do it. I am going to cast Genie's Entertainment on the dragon. Wait, it doesn't actually have a range on it. It just says a target.
Uh-huh.
But a target is magically drawn into your vessel and teleported to your patron's court in the elemental planes, unless it makes a charisma saving throw of DC 17. So it has a
DC 17 charisma, you say?
Yep.
Okay. How do you all do?
How does this work? What spell is this?
That is actually an 18.
Oh, son of a bitch.
What's this spell?
So it was Genie's Entertainment. What it would have done is moved him into my Genie patron's court for up to 1 minute. If it was a failed cast, he wouldn't have taken any damage, but he would have been, wouldn't have been able to do anything while he was in there.
Okay.
So it would have just taken him off the board.
It is a range of 90 feet. But
Oh, did you see that? It's not showing
it
on mine.
it works. I found it, but it's okay.
So yeah, you kind of stroke the lamp at your hip and kind of call upon your patron. But it seems for this patron of yours doesn't seem to want this thing anywhere near its court.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Okay, and I want to make a movement.
Mm-hmm.
So if I move to here, where my hand is now, will that be undercover? Because technically it's a dip down.
Yeah, it's kind of lower elevation than.
Yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, perfect. I'm just gonna bomb it straight under here.
Mm-hmm.
For now. And then my turn.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how big is this elevation between the first and second level?
About 10 feet.
Cool. I think I'm gonna I think I'm gonna jump up it. Maybe using Al as a jumping board.
Yeah. Okay.
Sick.
Acrobatics.
Sure.
So you get advantage because I'm waiting with my hands open to push him up.
Yeah.
If
If you use him as springboard, yeah, roll advantage.
Sick.
Because Al has done this before.
Yeah, you guys do that as it's like a signature move.
That's a 24.
So you kind of effortlessly kind of have to run up, kind of hop into his outstretched hands, and he kind of launches you up. You even manage to do a little kind of front flip on your way over the brazier.
Fucking sick.
Cool. That's 30 feet of movement.
Mm-hmm.
35, 40, 45. Oh no!
So he's in character.
Hang on. 1, 2, 3.
Go ahead.
Wait, this works. 35, 40, 45, 50. As a bonus action, I'm going to activate my astral arms.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm within reach distance of the dragon. But attacking would be a poor idea. So I'm actually going to spend my action taking the dodge action. Seeing as I've got its attention.
Mm-hmm. And yes, sure enough, You have indeed got this thing's attention. You've obviously just kind of basically flipped through this kind of fire and kind of appears in front of it. However, unfortunately for you, you're in reach of it as well as the other way around. It's going to use one of its legendary actions this turn to make a claw attack against you, but it will do it with disadvantage.
Yep.
17. No, disadvantage, sorry. That is going to be 15.
Plus 12.
So yeah, you kind of obviously kind of pull back, you don't commit to your attack. And just as well, because as you're running towards it, it kind of sweeps these huge talons at you, and you kind of manage to deflect them a little bit with your spiritual arms, but they pass a bit too close for comfort, and you can kind of see that like each of these talons is about as big as your arm.
I can see your ass is going to need extra beating.
Okay. The dragon will now oblige you.
Yeah.
So it is going to move in against you, Sphere, and it's going to take a bite at you for its first attack.
Guy, your character's a feminist icon.
Thank you for that.
It's also now probably.
However, you see it. You see the bite coming. So roll me attack against it.
I will be making this attack with my arms of astral self.
Mm-hmm.
That's 28.
Hits.
Woo! That'll be 9 radiant damage.
Okay. So you kind of see this thing kind of reaching in for a...
Is this a stunning strike, or do I have to declare that before the attack?
Not on this one, because it's not your turn.
Okay.
So this thing kind of comes in for a bite, but your arm kind of hits it. It seems to stop more out of surprise than actual pain as you kind of boop it on the snoot.
Oh no, it was that little effectiveness, huh?
But you've pissed it off enough that it makes 2 swings at you with its claws. So the first one. So that is going to be a 20.
The 20 does hit.
So claws, it's going to be 2d6 plus 8 bludgeoning damage. So you kind of take 15 damage as this thing's claws rake kind of through your clothing.
Got it.
And the second one. Another hit. Kind of knocked off balance by the first one. The second one kind of catches you kind of on your blind side.
Yeah.
Same again. So another 16 damage. Ooh. It seems like this is going to require more than just a bravado-filled attitude to beat. Okay. So while this is going on, the rest of you, you can kind of see Zoxar has kind of pulled out quite a hefty tome from underneath his robes, and he's kind of desperately flicking through the pages. Just hearing kind of, where is it? Where is it? And that's his action. He seems kind of preoccupied, so he's just going to stand there. Solna, you are up.
Okay. I think I might go for a similar approach and see if Owl give me a boost over that ledge.
So roll me the acrobatics.
Springboard.
Yes, you are. Is this athletics or acrobatic?
You can use either for this.
Okay.
Advantage of using it.
Okay. Let me use it then. So that's 21 or
21.
21.
So you kind of take a different approach to Sophia, but you kind of take the running jump And as Al boosts you up, you kind of grab onto the ledge, and kind of pull yourself up, kind of almost effortlessly, even in your heavy chainmail. And your momentum kind of carries you forward, so you actually kind of land on your feet, kind of at the top of the ledge here.
And then I'm going to take my first action to dash. There's 5. Yeah, I think I'm about there-ish. I'm not quite sure.
Okay, so you kind of you dash into combat, kind of powering your legs forward towards this kind of large adversary who's kind of just laying into your friend here.
And then I'm going to battle axe. Yeah, I'm just going to battle axe that bastard.
Not if you've used dash. That is your action.
2 actions, fighter.
Action surge, okay. So you're using that, are you?
Wait, I thought I got 2 attacks per action.
That's attacks per action.
That's multi-attack.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to just sit my ass here then.
Okay.
No. You do have...
Give him the burner, give him the stick.
You do have action surge, which will give you another action, but it is kind of a once per short rest. Or is it twice at level 10? But you've got limited charges of it.
Let me have
It should tell you on D&D Beyond.
We're just scrolling, trying to find accents.
Once.
Yeah, so you've got that in your back pocket.
I might leave it. I'm in the right position.
So kind of this new kind of threat appears over the ledge and kind of dashes towards it. So this is going to trigger its kind of second legendary action of and it's going to make an attack at you there, Solna. And I've just remembered it has advantage because the cultists use help on it, which I kind of forgot to do against Sphere. She took enough of the beating. Yeah, so the claws kind of almost, they don't slash at you, he kind of punches these at you kind of straight away. And you can kind of feel the chainmail. It doesn't rupture, but some of the links seem to have parted just enough that it kind of draws a little bit of blood and kind of knocks the wind out of you. So he's going to do... so he does 13 damage to you, Solna. Okay. And then finally, that brings us to Falmir.
Here he goes. So I've got 30 feet of movement.
Get ready, Al.
6. No, he's just going to run to there. And he's not going to dash. He's going to use his action to channel divinity.
Okay.
And I can channel divinity sacred weapon on my great axe. So for 1 minute, the weapon is considered magical, and I add +2 to attack rolls, and it emits light. Not that really matters.
Cool. So you kind of grab your axe and start saying kind of a prayer as you charge forward. And kind of your axe starts to glow with this kind of familiar kind of hue that you've been used to in the past, kind of emitting a faint light, kind of in the growing darkness as the clouds kind of roll in.
And I have a question. You can't use 2 leveled spells on a turn, but can you use a leveled spell and a channel divinity?
You can use a leveled spell on a cantrip.
I think channel divinity is technically an action, isn't it?
Yeah, but some spells are bonus actions.
If it's a cantrip, I'll let that slide.
Okay, it's not. So yeah, it's the end of my turn.
Okay. Sybil, you are up again.
Back to Sybil. Sybil will run over here and using Al as a springboard will no. I can't detect anything particular that this cultist might have done when he pointed at me.
No.
Okay. In that case, I will move away from move over to here and cast. What am I going to cast? Sorry, just the entire time the fight's been going on, I've just been reading through all my spells.
No,
to try
trust
to
me,
figure out what the fuck.
I've been in that boat. I know that there are plenty of them.
Yeah.
While Callan thinks of that, I'm just going to take the time to appreciate that you've taken Lord Sadler from Resident Evil 4 as one of the cultists.
Oh yeah, Resident Evil 4. Fuck yeah.
Well, it seems fitting enough.
I like all the subtle drops.
Oh, I remember this boy.
I can barely just about make out the squares underneath.
Yeah, they're not particularly great when it's scaled up to this resolution.
Okay, so I want to cast 3rd level Erupting Earth. So in a 20-foot cube, which at the back here would hit cultist number 1 and the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And at 3rd level it will be must make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, DC of that is going to be 17, you say?
17, yeah.
Okay, so for the dragon, passes, and for the cultist, he also passes, but only by the skin of his teeth.
Well, it's still half 3d12 bludgeoning damage, so let's have a look. There's no 12, there it is. Give me 3 ones, come on. Fuck me.
So 5 damage.
5 bludgeoning damage each.
So,
fucking damn it.
the cultist kind of sees this coming a little bit and kind of frozen. The dragon sees it coming and chooses to ignore it. You can kind of see the earth erupting around his feet, but he barely seems to pay any attention to it.
It's also now difficult terrain.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. At this point, the dragon is going to kind of, seeing as it's a new round, expend 2 of his legendary action points. And he is going to kind of leap into the air and kind of flap his wings. So I need you guys who are kind of within 15 feet of him, so namely Sophia and Solna, you guys need to make me a DC 23 Dex saving throw.
DC 23. Guy did
This
not
must
get
be
it.
the first time in history a monk has failed a dex saving throw.
I physically cannot get that.
Yeah, I can't either. Oh. I failed it really badly.
Some solidarity there. However, the cultist is also going to have to make that as well.
That's probably enough to blow over that stone pillar onto the last cultist as well. Let's hope.
No, these are quite firmly anchored. They're big pillars of stone.
Don't push your luck, guy.
You're not that lucky. So this thing kind of beats its wings into the air. So you guys, having failed that, could take 2d6 plus 8 bludgeoning damage and then be knocked prone. So that's going to roll it up. So each of you takes 17 damage there. And then you guys are kind of blown off your feet by the kind of wind as this thing kind of launches itself into the sky. And then it gets to move a little bit. So it gets to go 40 feet, half its flying speed. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So it kind of comes down and kind of lands. As it goes, it knocks this kind of statue over. Oh, not quite.
Oh,
Oh, fuck's sake, I need to grab that. And this kind of brazier kind of held in the flame kind of gets knocked towards kind of the Grandmaster who's busy in his book, so he's going to roll a dex saving for that.
What are the chances of that?
However, it's a big thing and he sees it coming. He kind of manages to dodge to the side and avoids kind of getting crushed by this thing and burnt by the fire. I'm just going to move these to the side so he sits nice and flat there. But yeah, so this thing then lands down here, and you can see that although Al is next to it, it doesn't seem to have realised that just yet, as its eyes are kind of focused on the Grandmaster here. And then I believe it's the cultist's turn.
yeah, cultist.
So he is going to kind of stand up first of all. And he kind of he looks as if he wasn't really expecting that. It seems that this creature that they've summoned doesn't seem to have any particular kind of affection towards them. I think he started to realise that now. But he kind of looks down to the two of you, who are kind of really just lying down on the floor, kind of knocked down by kind of just the sheer force of the wind there. And he is going to cast Cool Lightning. So the storm overhead, you kind of see him reach up to invoke the energy already there, and you kind of see him utter a few words, and then he kind of reaches his hand up, and you can kind of see static kind of jumping around his fingertips as he comes down. So he is going to cast it, and he's going to focus on you, Solna, because he kind of saw you dashing in there with your swords, whereas you couldn't really see the astral arms that Sophia had going. So I need you to make me a dex saving throw with disadvantage because you're prone. It's going to be a DC 16.
That's 15.
Oh!
So you can kind of see him raising his hand, and you reckon if you'd been on your feet, you would have had this, but like just you try and roll out of the way in time, but it's just not quite enough. And this kind of bolt of lightning kind of shoots down,
Indomitable.
from the sky.
Indomitable.
That's gaming.
Ooh. Yeah,
She's
you
just
know what?
figured it out.
There's a lot going on here. It's very different.
It's almost like somebody wants the storm to be ultra charged. But
Big crab claws.
The giant crab creature shows
Suddenly,
up.
a giant crab.
another portal appears.
But then it has
Called
to fight.
Tara 2. I should have known.
Now let's roll with it. It's cool.
So this kind of energized lightning bolt from this storm cloud strikes you, so it's going to be 4d10 damage to you. Could have been worse. So you kind of hit this bolt, kind of comes down for 11 damage. Your chainmail kind of acts as a makeshift Faraday cage and absorbs some of it, but you still get quite a nasty jolt from that, and you can kind of feel the hair on your arms start to stand on it. But he's going to stay there. Jackto, you've obviously just seen this thing kind of land and spew this kind of contents of this burning brazier very close.
I've been I've been trying to hold back since the moment you said roll initiative, boys. Yes. See how many of these fuggers we can get in here. So, 20 foot blast. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Sorry, Thalmir. I'm going to step out.
Right up.
I'm going to see this brazier right here. Brazier right here.
Brazier.
And I'm just going to take my staff and just thrust it towards it and just channel all of my energy. I'm going to do a level 4 fireball blasting out from that to hit Kovtara and the and Cultist 2. And spell sculpting, I'm going to make sure that the two who are on the ground and Thalmir cannot be hit by it. So as the fire explodes, Thalmir, it shapes around you and doesn't hit you at all.
I didn't realise you had spell sculpting.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Okay, so everybody needs to make a DC 19.
Dex.
DC 19 Dex saving throw.
Okay, so for the dragon.
Sorry. DC 17. Sorry. 17.
So the dragon passes. And the cultist. The cultist does not.
Oh! Okay, so 96 plus 9. And then plus. And I'm also going to add my plus 5 to it as well, so it's plus 14. So that's 32 plus 14, so that's 56 damage to the cultist.
How much?
And then half that. Sorry, 46.
So you kind of see this cultist just kind of, the fire engulfs him, and kind of when it dies down, he just isn't there anymore. There aren't even remains. The kind of fireball, though, kind of washes back over the wing of this dragon, and you see a lot of it is kind of directed up by the shape of the beast. And it kind of it turns to notice you at that point.
It notices the level 4 fireball. Okay. Cool, I noticed that. That's good. I'm gonna move and fucking hide.
Okay, so
just cowering back, because even that he's not seen stuff, just ignore it like that. He sort of shakes behind the pillar as he's like, "How did it not? What just happened?" Yeah.
So you can see that the wing was obviously kind of affected by this, because it's kind of obviously less scaled than the main body, being kind of more leathery. So you kind of did some damage to it, but it's kind of managed to dodge the rest of it with its reasonably high alertness. Something that, for a beast this size, you're surprised it has. But yes, now you kind of retreat, having dealt with one of the cultists. So need to take him off the initiative tracker. Alrighty, so that brings us to Al and Sophia. Who wants to go first?
Do you want to go first, or?
I mean, all I'm going to do is stand up and start pummeling.
Okay. Which way is the dragon facing at the moment?
So he's was originally looking at Zoxar, but he's kind of now looking to see where this fireball came.
So, opportunity attack is when a hostile moves out of range that you can see. So I should be able to move away sneakily.
Yeah, you'd have to roll me a stealth, but...
It does say that an enemy you can see.
Yeah, I mean, it can see you, though.
No, it can't! can't see me.
It will probably stand a chance of detecting you as you flee.
Okay, fair enough. You know what? I'll do it while he's not looking at me. I'm going to see if I can just stealthily move away.
Roll me a stealth check.
By all means, this is going to fail so hard. Oh, that's like a 12. Wait, is it? Let me double check. I've just realised I am not on the correct profile here. Whoops. Oh no, it's actually a 15.
So you kind of try and sizzle your way from this thing. But somehow it hears you and you can see its head kind of turn down to look at you.
Oh no.
And up close, this thing is just a mass of teeth and horn and anger.
Amazing.
Sounds a bit like Jason.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to carry on my movement, and it's going to get a chance to attack me anyway. So might as well just tell me if I'm dead.
Okay, so where are you moving to?
So essentially, I'm going to try and. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I kind of want to get onto these stairs. Because my athletics is not that good for climbing up. Actually, no. Acrobatics. So yeah, he's going to try and climb. So step away and climb up. So I will roll you that check there on acrobatics.
Please.
It's a 9.
So you kind of
get up
grasp the top of this this ledge and try and pull yourself up. But you've kind of tied yourself a little bit out by launching Solner and Sophia. So you kind of hang there for a moment and then I'll try and pull yourself up. You get to about your chin, but you kind of drop back down.
Okay, so that's wasted like 10 feet of my movement. But in that case, I don't think anywhere I move I'm going to get out of its range, am I? Realistically.
It's a pretty big boy.
Yeah. I'm just going to move a little bit then, just to see if I can get out of melee range. I've wasted 10, so for 20. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So as you kind of run away, after having watched your feeble attempts to mount the wall, the creature just kind of gives you an almost dismissive smack with his tail. So he's going to roll a tail attack against you. So 18. It's going to hit.
Yeah, that's
and that's going to do 2d8 plus 8 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So you kind of take 13 damage as this tail slams into you. Kind of knocks your air out.
Okay, well that's my movement. And in that case, I am going to cast Blight at 5th level against the dragon.
Okay.
So it must succeed on a 17 con save. DC
Con save. Okay.
The giant dragon.
Yeah, well.
So 19.
Fuck's sake! What?
Holy shit!
This thing has a scary stat line.
Oh, yeah, you're not fucking shitting me, are you?
Why is she so thick, bro? Why is she poor? That's like a Titus con save right there.
I like the way Chaz sees something big and thinks he's fighting a god.
I mean,
oh yeah.
At this point,
I forgot about that.
Whatever. Alright, yeah. Well, that's me. Injured and
dying.
To be fair, I've still got a decent amount.
Is that one of the things that takes half on their success, or is
Oh
it just...
shit! It is. You're right, actually. Take 8d8 to critic or half and a failed save. So I
So roll
9d8.
that up and then tell me.
That's got to finish her off.
Yes. At 100%. Yeah.
That's it. Good play, boys.
Oh god, look at that.
That's a lot of
Game
eight.
over.
They take 22
22.
damage. Yeah.
Okay, so this kind of blight sets in, or like you see it, kind of this dark energy kind of head out towards this thing, and it kind of raises its wing to kind of shield it from the worst of it. And you can kind of see some of the, like a little patch of the leather on its wing starts to kind of shrivel up a little bit. And then it kind of lowers the wing and just kind of glares at you angrily. Sophia.
Yeah, that's me.
Cool. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to 5, 10.
Rough terrain.
Ooh, rough terrain.
Ooh.
I thought it was stairs.
It is, but it used Eruption of Earth on it, so it's rough terrain.
Ah, okay. Ooh, how am I going to overcome this? I've stood up, so I've used half my movement, right?
Yep.
Then I'm going to use my 25-foot of movement. Rough terrain just doubles the amount of movement, so 10, 20. With my last 5 movement, it's not going to do much, but I'm going to use a key point and a bonus action to dash, giving me another 50 feet of movement.
So you kind of channel your energy and focus your footwork and kind of jump from kind of one lump of up-class earth to another. Kind of land next to this cultist.
Awesome. I am now going to proceed to pummel him.
Sure.
Spending a extra key point to flurry of blows.
Mm-hmm.
So let's resolve the first 2 attacks.
Yep.
Uh, 11 and 21.
So 1 hit, 1 miss.
Okay, I'll resolve the damage. 10 radiant damage.
Okay, so you kind of punch him firmly in the chest. He kind of staggers backwards.
Cool. Now I'm going to make him stagger backward harder. With my last attack, I'm going to try and use a shove action to throw him into the brazier.
Okay.
Using my arms of astral projection, I can use my wisdom instead of a... Oh!
So, kind of stumbling from your kind of actual fists, he doesn't see this kind of astral arm just come around and just clock him square in the mouth.
Excellent. And I get to shove him 5 feet into the brazier. I'm just thought it'd be metal, but...
Yeah, roll me the damage for the blow first.
Sure. Seven radiant?
It was a crit, remember?
Oh, yes.
8 radiant. Okay, so you kind of push him down with this kind of force. He falls backwards into the brazier, and you kind of see the robes kind of start to catch quite quickly, and you kind of hear him like kind of so he's going to take 2 damage from it. So it takes additional 5 as his kind of robes start to go up in flames.
Good luck casting in that, you motherfucker.
And he is knocked prone while that happens.
Nice.
Okay. So the dragon. So this creature now, he's going to actually charge towards where this fireball came from. So, finally, you are going to get an attack of opportunity as he passes you.
Oh. That's an 8.
How did you miss him? It was right in front of you.
So, got found that this thing as it kind of pushes off, it is moving very quickly for a beast of its size. You'd kind of had your sword ready, but like the lead you thought you need to give it just was not ample enough to get a good blow. So your sword's only kind of halfway through its swing, and you kind of feel it glance off one of the scales. This thing just bolts past you, and it is going to actually kind of make an athletics check to try and push this stone over as it charges towards.
Actually, not that it changes much, but it was a 12. I added the wrong thing.
Dodge.
So this beast snaps this thing at its base, and it kind of falls over very quickly. Jackal, I need to make me a dex save.
Perfect. My strongest stat. This is where I wish it was Titus, and he just picks it up and throws it back at the dragon. That is 15.
You don't see this thing coming behind your stone pillar. The first you know of it is when the whole thing cracks and starts falling on you. Your mage armor kind of activates and tries to absorb a lot of it, but
shield.
Yeah, you can cast shield as well. That'll reduce some of the damage. So you kind of throw up this emergency shield, but still, this mass of rock starts to fall on you. So you're going to take some bludgeoning damage, my dude. So you take 25 bludgeoning damage. Just like some of these rocks eventually do overwhelm your defenses and kind of crash on.
How much does shield reduce, Charlie?
Well, that's already
shield increases my AC.
Oh, okay.
So that it only takes my AC up to 19. So it's really not. That just basically stopped me getting crushed.
Yeah, the magical energy kind of helps to redirect a bit of this stone pillar kind of away from you. So you kind of get hit by some of the masonry, but not enough to just outright kill. But now you are kind of staring face to face with this massive creature's horns, and the kind of the fangs are very apparent to you in your current position. Okay. So now, as this is going on, having sidesteps, the Grandmaster, he seems to be well aware of the destruction this thing is kind of causing and the kind of predicament a lot of you are in. But it seems that he's found his page now, and you can kind of see him starting to kind of chant something and kind of start raising his staff to kind of make a few symbols in the air ahead of him. It seems that whatever he's doing, he's fully occupied with it. Solna.
Okay. I've just done a lot of counting. So I'm going to write myself 15, 30 damage action, and then I can just about make it using the rest of 3 square. 3? Yeah?
Yep, 3 squares is 15.
3 squares. 15. Wait, there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then I'm going to use a dash to get me 15. 30, sorry, 5. 10. I can't see shit.
15.
Down.
Oh, yeah, you can make, yeah.
So, I'm wanting to be about here. I think I did it, and I've lost sight for a while. And then I'm going to use action.
Action surge and give him the goods. So,
I'm going to give him a good up here.
Okay, so you kind of battle in hands ready to swing down on this creature's kind of tail section and back.
Can I still use a bonus action after I've done?
Yeah, after you've used action surge.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna double smack it, both hands.
Roll me those up, please. May as well do them together.
Yeah.
Oh, can I still use the double attack?
Yeah, it's because you do an action, so you get to then you get.
Yeah. So what do they work out as?
Plus 9 for these. Sorry, so that was 14 and what was
22.
22.
So 1 hit, 1 miss.
1 hit, 1 miss, and roll damage for that. So that's 1 die. Six.
Yeah.
6 damage. And the other attacks?
Cool. What am I rolling for?
2d20 again.
120. Oh, 2d20?
Yeah, if you're using multi-attack.
Oh, shit, yeah, of course.
A miss and a crit.
Whoa.
18
So-
and a... Yeah. Cool. Do I add 5 or 10 to that?
Yeah, you add your 5 to that. You don't double the modifiers.
12.
So that one works out as 12 damage. So you kind of come down these stairs, axes in hand, and kind of see that Jacktoe's in a bit of trouble here, and you can't just lay into this dragon from the back, and you can actually feel one of the axes kind of hits and then kind of slides, but the way it slides, it actually goes underneath one of the scales, and you can kind of feel it bite into flesh as you kind of run this thing up kind of a wrong way up its patterned tail. And this thing kind of immediately kind of bellows in pain.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
Did you have a bonus action?
No, that was my bonus action.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Me then.
And then no, it's not. It's going to use the last of its legendary actions for this round, and it's going to make a claw attack in vengeance at Solna.
I liked using those on...
So that's going to be 16, so I think you're safe. Yep. So as this thing kind of turns, you see it turning, and then it's kind of its claws come up in quite a wide arc, but you kind of manage to hop back and kind of, almost kind of pull your stomach in, and you see the claws kind of pass where kind of previously, only a fraction of a second before, it would have kind of taken your intestines with it. But it kind of cuts through the air, leaving you unharmed. Now it is you.
Here we go. Can use my movement to get right up in this thing's face.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to attack it
Sure.
with my great axe. So that's a 14,
Misses.
and I get a second attack.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that's a 15.
That's also a miss. The kind of a great weapon swings over your head, and it kind of uses the talon on the end of its wings here to kind of catch it each time you try and swing at it, almost like a game.
Okay, give me 1 second while I look something up. No, what I will do is I'll cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay, so another
That's
2
bonus
we see, is
action.
that? Is it
Yeah.
2 or is it higher up at that point?
Plus 2, I believe. Let me double check.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
plus
you kind of start to feel this energy surrounding you. Your gods are with you.
And that's me disappointingly done.
Okay, Sybil, back round to you then.
Okay. Sybil's gonna move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to the stairs here, so we can still see across.
Yeah.
To that.
I mean, this thing is kind of hard.
Yeah. And he will. So, seeing the lightning bolt that was called down from the sky, Sybil glances up and sees the swirling storm clouds.
Mhm.
And he will himself cast Call Lightning
Okay.
at 5th level.
Mhm.
So that's a Dex saving throw.
DC 17 still.
Yep.
So that's a pass.
Okay. So it's still going to be half 6d10.
Yeah, you'll get the extra D10 for it being stormy.
Nope, no, that's a d20. Ignore that. Click too
6
soon.
ones from Cal
1,
now.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. 14 damage. So this kind of energized bolt of lightning streaks down from the sky and kind of hits this thing. It kind of hits the tallest point of it, which in this case is kind of a horn on its raised head. And you can kind of see that the horn blackens immediately as the energy passes through it. And this thing kind of recoils a little bit, kind of from the shock and the blinding flash as this lightning bolt comes down onto it.
Blinded condition. I'm kidding.
Shut up, or I'll make up a flattened condition. Okay. Anything else you want to do there, Sybil?
Nope.
Okay. So the remaining cultist is going to stand up. Okay, he's going to use his bonus action to kind of pat himself down and extinguish those flames. And then he is going to cast Hold Person on Sophia. So I need you to make me a DC 16 Wisdom saving throw, please. If he's there.
Guy. Big Chungus.
Hello?
DC 16 Wisdom, please. You're being cast Hold Person against.
Your own illustration.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it's probably going to be with disadvantage now because you weren't concentrating.
Doesn't matter.
Not that it matters.
So you kind of try to follow this thing up and kind of end this cultist, but he kind of uses Hold Person to keep you there, whilst he kind of gets himself up and kind of douses the flames around you that you've kind of knocked him into. And then he's going to use his movement to actually step back through the portal. So as he goes, Sophia, you kind of feel this energy holding you kind of release. But your quarry is kind of long gone through here.
Bastard.
All go through the portal.
Do you not think that sounds fiery death from the portal?
Alright, so he needs to be taken off the initiative counter and brings us to Jack.
Okay, Jackto sort of is in a pretty bad spot here, and he imagines he's probably on his last legs. He's going to cast his Mega Bitch spell. How many coals would you say fell out of this thing, Crispy?
This one was the largest of the
hundreds.
brazier. There's probably, a good 50, 60 coals in there.
50, 60 hot pieces of coal?
Yeah, that were previously just on fire.
Cool. I'm going to use Animate Objects, 5th level spell, Animate Objects, and I'm going to animate 10 of the pieces of coal.
Okay.
Would you say they're tiny or small?
I'd say they're small.
Small, okay. So I'm going to animate 10 of the pieces of coal from here, and I get to give them one order, and I'm just going to order them to pummel him. So those 10 pieces of coal then have a flying speed of 30 feet.
So enough to connect.
And then we'll attack him every turn. So I'm going to do 10 attacks at a +6 to hit with those pieces of coal. Okay. Oh, +6. Oh my
You
god, I
need
rolled well.
22 or higher.
22 or higher. Okay, so
2 hits.
One's a crit by the looks of it.
2.
20.
Yeah, a hit and a. Fuck me. I thought this was going to be the mega move here. Okay, a hit and a crit. Okay, so 1 hit and 1 crit. So that's 3d8 plus 4 then. Oh fuck! I can't believe that it just like barely did anything. So
Sorry,
20
Tom.
damage. Crap.
So these kind of coals animate and fly up to towards this dragon. You can see that like a lot of them seem to just kind of almost crumble as they hit kind of thick scaled armor, but you can see some of them are kind of connecting with softer spots. It does seem to be bothering. This creature kind of looks as if there's kind of a few bees buzzing around a human, say, as it kind of tries to move those out of the way.
Cool. And then Jack Toe is going to try and run around to. He sees his friends the other side of it, and he knows that they can protect him. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is he going to disengage?
Well, he's used his action, can he? Disengage.
Yeah, I can't disengage, but I'm gonna move away anyway.
Okay.
I don't wanna.
So you kind of put yourself kind of on the other side of the kind of more martially gifted members of the party. However, kind of being harassed by this, Dragon's now going to use one of his legendary actions for this round to make an attack against you with his claws.
Well, he doesn't get a reaction anyway because I moved out of his.
You're not actually out of his melee range.
Oh shit! Oh crap! I thought I was.
So the claws are going to be a hit, I'm afraid, at 23. So 2d6 plus 8 bludgeoning damage again. So 18. So these claws kind of catch you on your back as you're running.
18 damage.
18. But you kind of gasp as you fall forward, but kind of Solana very quickly steps in to kind of stop any follow-up attacks. Okay. Al and Sophia.
Up to you, guys. You want to go first, or? Oh, he's not responding, so I'll go.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna move up here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kind of there. There's the deal, I guess. And I am going to require a token, I imagine, because I'm going to cast Bigby's Magic Hand. Or Bigby's Hand, actually. So I create a large hand of shimmering translucent force in an unoccupied space that you can see within range. The hand has an AC of 20, equal to my hit points, a strength of 34, and a dexterity of 10.
Strength of 34, did you say?
Yep, 26 plus 8 is its strength.
Damn.
So I will cast Bigby's Magic Hand.
Okay.
Just in front of me, I guess, for now, around here.
Yep.
So it needs to be a large token. Or if you want anything on the board, that's it.
So I will very quickly grab you an item for that.
Not to be that guy, but is it not a strength of 26 with a plus 8 modifier? Not a strength of 34.
Wait, what am I reading? Strength
The
26.
plus 6, it's 26. That sounds more legitimate.
Oh, wait, shit, no. Yeah, I've misread. He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Online. Yeah, so it's strength 26.
I had to look at that then because 34 just sounded ridiculous.
I was about to say, I was just like, oh yeah.
The strength of a god.
Yeah.
Oh, I could have just left
Just
it. That'd be great.
completely obsolete, like makes obsolete cranes and like any other equipment.
Cool.
As he just lifts buildings into place.
Yeah, why not? Might as well. But yeah.
I'll have you fighting a genie at some point by the sounds of it.
Oh,
Well,
fair
it's
point,
the genie's hand, isn't it? That's what I'm going
Sound pretty lit.
Yeah, so I'm going to drop it there, and that's kind
Okay.
of me.
Is that concentration?
It is concentration for up to 1 minute.
It's concentration.
Mhm.
I was about to say that sounds like it would be way too powerful to be something like that just stays there forever.
Just the entire fight, no matter how long.
I love that. It's a cleric spell. It's like, I know you're a cleric, but here, be a fighter as well. Anyway, so you've cast that in that space there, and this kind of large spectral hand appears. Describe the hand to me, Willie Jason. What does this genie's fist look like?
So it's a rather large blue hand, and kind of behind the hand is kind of like a gold bracer on the wrist.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen one of Will Smith's hands? It looks like one of those.
Painted blue.
Oh, that, but blue, yeah.
Yeah, and that hand is
Okay,
controlled by me.
cool.
Yeah, about 40.
Unless you want to move or use any bonus actions, we're over to Sophia.
No, I'm good. That's all I can do.
Cool.
Could I do an Arcana check on this portal? If I go through it and chase that motherfucker, will I be able to come back?
Roll me an Arcana then. Just to see if you have any inkling as to what this might be.
Do you know someone
14?
is currently casting to close it?
You don't know what the hell is going on that other side. For all you know, that could take you to the plane of fire.
I'm guessing / hoping not. I mean, if he doesn't like the brazier full of fire, I doubt he's going to like the plane of fire.
Well, I mean, you're making the assumption that he knows what was through it.
Ooh, snap.
He wasn't just trying to run away from you.
It's the plane of big ass dragons. That much we do know.
Okay, I'm going to jump down here to avoid the rough terrain. Oh god, it's laggy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you kind of jump down from the worst of this kind of outgrowths of rock and frost up through the...
Okay. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I'm actually gonna... Fuck it, I'll throw a dart at it.
Okay, yeah.
I'll throw a dart at it.
Roll me up, please.
That is a +7, so 24.
Hits.
Sweet. I'm gonna do some sick damage.
So
Here
one
it comes.
Like a
5 damage.
So you kind of come down. As you're running, you see it kind of almost rear up as these kind of hot coals kind of dancing around it. And you kind of throw a dart into its kind of now exposed underbelly. It kind of hits a little bit. You can see that it's kind of got in about a third of the way, but as the dragon kind of comes back down, you see it kind of get shaken loose and fall out again.
Yeah.
What would you have done if he just said, "Okay, guy, how do you want to do this?"
I am then going to spend a key point to defend for the turn because we are in breath attack position.
So was that dodge?
Yeah, wait, will dodge help me if it's a area effect?
It gives you advantage on dex saves.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. Yes.
Okay.
Oh man, I should have taken advantage earlier. Oh well.
It is a bonus action, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and it does use a key point. Okay, so as you do that, the kind of dragon uses another one of its legendary actions to swipe down at Falmir. again with his claws. And they hit. So, Falme, you kind of feel this thing. The plate you're wearing kind of holds up. It doesn't rupture. It kind of bends a little bit, but the integrity's still there. But just the sheer impact of the blow is kind of enough to kind of really hurt your shoulder. So it's going to be 12 damage to you.
Okay.
And then that was Guy's turn. So, and it's a dragon. And as if he was kind of calling it perfectly, the dragon sees everybody lined up in an almost perfect, perfect line. And being a dragon of a black persuasion, he has his breath weapon is actually a 10 foot wide, 90 foot long line of acid.
So a black dragon's is longer than any white.
So that is going to require you guys, kind of all four of you here, to make me a dexterity saving throw.
I was just making you say
so
four.
Solna and Jackto are within 10 feet of me, so they also get a +2.
Okay. So DC for that is going to be 22.
Ooh,
22.
flawlessly avoided.
I failed that.
5 might not do it.
Okay.
Pascal too. Yep.
Fuck's sake.
So all three
Yeah.
of us have failed, but Guy passed.
Okay. So you guys can take some acid.
Guy pass.
Guy passed.
How many times have you got that?
Yeah, dude, it's so many fucking times, bro.
Okay. So Jackto is, as this acid hits you, you kind of feel the kind of bite as it eats into you, and the kind of a pain. You try and resist it, but you just feel your consciousness slip out from your body, and you kind of slump to the floor. Solna and Falmir, let me work out that for you.
I'm on 37 health.
Perfect. 37 and Solna. What's that, 28 for you there, Pascal?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So this thing unleashes this torrent of acid. Falmir, you can kind of feel it eating through the plates you're wearing. And Solna, the chainmail just doesn't hold up enough for any protection whatsoever. As the kind of liquid nature of the acid just causes it to slip through. Sophia, you kind of have a bit of time to dodge it, and kind of being prepared for it, you don't get the worst of it, so you're only obviously going to take half that, so 22.
Evasion.
I'm no longer concentrating on
Shields.
Shield or whatever it's called. Shield of Faith.
Yeah. Of course, yes, if he has evasion, so manages to dodge it all. So this kind of black acid kind of comes out, and you dodge, but it kind of burns away the brazier that you were kind of hiding behind, which kind of just turns into a puddle of kind of dissolved metal and kind of extinguished coal. And that is the dragon's go.
Hot damn.
So seeing this, Zoxarkar looks up to you. Please, hold out! I'm almost done! And you can see now that his kind of staff has started to glow. He's clearly channeling some magic of quite potent nature from. And you guys are kind of buying him a bit of time here.
So last turn was Kame. This turn was Hame. Next turn is Ha! And he blasts.
Just NPC Goku, yeah. Solna. So you've got just kind of received the kind of blast of acid, and you've kind of, having stepped in the way to kind of save Jackto from these kind of claws, kind of quite dismayed, kind of see him go down under some of the acid, but kind of missed you and went back and managed to catch him.
So I think what I'm going to do is sidestep around a bit, spread us out, just to try and avoid this again. Can I just drop down off the ledge?
Yeah, you can just hop down off that.
Cool. And then I'm going to dragon more battle axes.
Give him the goods.
Yeah, let's just go choppy chop. Ooh.
So 4 attacks.
Oh shit. 2.
1 hit, 1 miss.
Okay, tell you what, I'll just do this as well.
Yeah, just makes it easy.
So it's plus 19 and then
Is that 19 and 21?
yeah.
So 2 misses, so you've only got the 1 hit there.
Not ideal.
This.
Yeah. 11. There we go. Thank you.
Okay, so you again just kind of steel yourself as this acid continues to kind of burn into your flesh. But you realise kind of just what's at stake here, and you kind of grit your teeth and kind of slash down with the axes, kind of channeling that inner focus that you kind of learned from your father all those years ago. And although the creature's kind of thick scales bounce a lot of your blows, another one manages to land, and you kind of see kind of dark black blood ooze from the wound. Cool, and then Falmir, I guess.
Right. I'm going to start with a bonus action, which is a level 2 spell called Branding Smite. And that means I get extra damage if I hit. Well, the next time I hit, as long as I'm still concentrating.
Sure.
And then for my action, I'm going to attack, which is going to be my 2 attacks.
Yep.
So I'll just...
You might as well roll them together. So that hits.
Yeah. So on the hit, I'm going to use a smite, divine smite, and it's big. So let's do it at level 3.
Given the good stuff, yeah.
Let me figure out what.
Give him that wooden chopper,
because it's a bit. So 1d12 for the act, 4d6 for the divine smite, and 2d6 for the branding smite.
Okay.
So
roll
it's
it
6d6 and a d12.
Big numbers there.
Nice. 25 plus 4. 29 damage.
So as Solnar is kind of giving it a kind of barrage of axe blows, beside as it kind of leans down to kind of turn to face her, it kind of gives you a nice kind of exposed bit of its kind of right shoulder, and you kind of waste no time in putting kind of your full might into a kind of an overhead blow. And you can kind of see that as this arcs down onto this creature, it kind of connects with the scale, and the scale actually cracks, and the blade goes through into the kind of soft flesh beneath, and kind of like a splash of black blood kind of falls to the ground and kind of starts to hiss a little bit. But the creature kind of visibly kind of bows its head under the force of this blow.
I'm going to double down on the distancing, so I'm around here. Yeah.
Cool. And it's going to use its last legendary action this round to kind of retaliate with a claw swipe at you. This one, however, like it was almost instinctive. like, as soon as the axe came out, this thing lashed out at you. So these claws kind of catch you in the kind of lower leg.
Yeah, I've just realised I should have re-rolled my D12 as well.
So you take another additional 18 damage from these claws.
Ooh. Because I rolled a 1 with my D12 and I've got double weapon fighting or whatever it's called.
Great weapon fighting or something, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's just 5 more damage then.
5 more damage.
How much did I take? 18?
Yes. I've got you down as 19 health now after that.
Yep.
Okay, so it's a big blow, but as you kind of pull the axe back, the claws kind of catch you in the lower leg, and you can feel the kind of the greaves, just kind of the metal isn't as thick, and they kind of are penetrated by these claws, and the kind of full force hits your shin. Cool. Goes back round to Sybil.
Okay. So seeing the absolute horror that was that cone of acid, Sybil's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and cast Mass Cure Wounds centered around about here so that it'll cover all 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 30-foot radius.
Yep.
And it's 3d8 plus 5 healing.
Okay, roll it, please.
Come on. Oh, fuck. Right off. So everyone regains 13 hit points.
13 hit points. Okay, so that's that.
About what I've lost.
So I regain consciousness.
You don't get it, Al. You're not in the zone.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Yeah.
13 or 30?
1-3.
13.
Because I'm that shit at rolling.
I was a pain.
Hey, still can be a deciding factor sometimes. And as Chaz says, he is back on his feet now.
Yep. And I will also. So that was it. That was a 5th level spell as well. So that's my last 5th level slot.
Good use of it, really.
Yeah, I will also cast as a bonus action Healing Word. So what's the range on it? 60 feet. So I can.
Don't think you can do a.
It's spell.
It is. It's not a cantrip, so.
No, I can't. Of course. Nope, that's it.
So, Jokto, you kind of wake to see this kind of basalt floor around you. Kind of, some of it seems to have kind of some fairly severe erosion happening in front of your eyes as the kind of residual acid burns down. You can kind of feel the pain in your back whilst kind of still there. It's no longer incapacitating. You kind of feel a new kind of wave of energy fill you, and kind of you pull yourself back up to your feet.
Seeing that I'm probably, like I say, I'm probably out here, I'm going to cast my final big boy spell, and I'm going to cast Immolation. So you just see me just start to curl my arms around me and chant these words of fire and just expel all my energy on this one huge spell. Take a dexterity saving throw, DC 17. You better pass it, because otherwise Koftara's going down in a blaze of glory.
Is that DC 17 what save? Sorry, I missed that.
Dexterity.
Okay. It's also not Koftara, just to...
No!
9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9.
Hey, I don't control the dice.
Oh, does he?
Well, I would control the legendary resistance. But,
it only takes 15 damage. God! Hey, and now the room's really light. Everybody, well done. It's now super bright because there's fire there. Or there
So, you kind of cast this spell, and again, this creature just completely at odds for its size, kind of pulls back, kind of at the last minute. And the flame, whilst clearly powerful, doesn't kind of get the full force centered on this creature. But you can kind of see a few of the kind of the thinner bits of kind of armor on its stomach kind of start to singe at the edges.
Shit. God damn it. That spell, if it goes off, is amazing. 8d 4d6 a turn. No concentration.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So...
It's powerful.
Yeah. Okay.
Any movement bonus actions?
Well, I stood up as my movement, right?
Half of it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, I'm in his area of control, aren't I?
Still, yeah.
I think he'd still try and run. After seeing Immolation go, I think he'd try and run. So 1, 2, 3, and just try and get away.
So, kind of as you go, the tail kind of comes around and tries to trip you as you go. And misses completely.
Does that mean I get to make a free Immolation attack on him?
Not immolation, but I'll give you one blast of firebolts as a kind of a quick snapshot.
Ooh. Okay. Sick. Thanks, Quick. Look at how generous he is.
This is the point where Chaz goes, okay, I'm going to use my reaction to activate Metamagic.
So yeah, hits.
D10 plus...
D10.
Where? D10 plus... Sorry.
Not 2d10?
Plus... yeah, it's 2d10. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it
2d10.
should be, because you passed all 5.
And then I'm going to add just my plus 5 from being... Ooh! So 25 damage.
So as this tail kind of sweeps down for your legs, you kind of jump over it and kind of reach down with your hands, kind of touch your tail and just blast it with a firebolt. You actually kind of see it melt through some of these kind of tail scales that are a bit thinner. And you can kind of smell burning flesh as it whips away from you.
Oh, the tail is weaker.
The scales are thinner.
I'm going to sort of say to our noble monk, as I sort of stand up next to her, I'm going to go like, aim for the tail! It appears to be weaker there. And then I like give a little nod to the druid, just as like a thank you for saving me there, because obviously now he's the hero.
Okay. So first legendary action of this round is going to lash out at Solna with his claws.
Alright. Crispy, I do have to go, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm going to hop out.
Somebody want to take over for...
It is fun. I've already done all the fun spells, so I mean it's...
22, so that is going to hit, I'm afraid. Solna.
See you guys.
So,
Yeah.
So that is going to be 13 damage. Which actually was just the amount you got healed, wasn't it?
yeah.
So see,
yeah.
so absorbed a blow for her. So this thing is kind of furious now after kind of being burned, and is kind of lashing out at anyone it can reach. And that brings us to Al and Sophia.
Up to you guys. Do you want to go first or?
I'm going first, did you say?
Do you want to? I think it's...
Oh, right.
Big plans.
Jason's really quiet for me.
Yes.
He's gone a little quiet. He's been okay for most of the game.
idea.
There we go.
Suppose I could jump on the opportunity and try and attack the beast's tail.
Yeah, if
So,
you have a plan, feel free to initiate.
I don't have an overt plan outside of punch, but
Punch hard.
That is more.
I'm going to do what Jack Toe tells me to do. I'm going to punch 5, 10, 15, 20. I am 25. Okay, I'm in range there with. Oh, wait, no. I want to be adjacent. Haha. 30.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm going to attack with my 2 astral arms and then spend a key point to make 2 unarmed attacks on top of that.
So you may as well roll them all together.
Unfortunately, Flurry of Blow. Oh, wait. Flurry of Blows only gives me an additional attack to unarmed attacks, right? Or does it include with monk weapons?
Unarmed
yeah.
for flurry of blows.
Okay.
Would the astral arms count as unarmed?
No, they're reach monk weapons, technically. So
those 2 miss.
yeah, that is unfortunate. The 2 unarmed attacks. Oh, one of them gets
1 hits there, definitely.
24.
Okay, so the kind of unarmed attack, you feel it kind of connects with the tail.
Stunning strike hit. If I've hit it in the tail, I'm going for the stunning.
So DC what con save?
That would be a DC. Sorry, new character sheet.
Yeah, no worries.
I think it's right at the bottom of your action, stunning strike.
So it is DC 17.
So that's a 19 again.
Oh no! Right, might as well do my magical unarmed damage. 6 damage.
Okay, so it takes 6 damage, but you kind of feel it pretty much dissipate the moment you hit this. Which is unlike anything you've punched before. You don't know whether it's due to the size, the composition, or what, but it hasn't had the effect you were hoping.
Oh dear.
Sorry, I'm doing another actually sort of thing, but the flurry of blows has special effects as well. Oh no, it doesn't. I'm thinking of open hand.
Open palm, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, ignore me. It was a false actually.
Shut your metagaming axe-eating ass up.
I'm only saying it because people are playing characters that they're not used to, and you know.
Okay, so you kind of get the 1 blow in, but you didn't manage to stun the thing.
Rip me.
Ow.
Right. I'm deciding on my main action, but for now, bonus action allows me to move the hand up to 60 feet.
Yep.
So I'm going to move it over here, and it allows me to do one of a few things. Depending on what I want to choose, let me get it open. Which one would be the best one? Actually, I'm going to take an option called Grasping Hand. Hand attempts to grapple a huge creature, a huge to small creature within 5 feet of it. Use your hand strength score to resolve the grapple. If it's medium or small, you get advantage, so that doesn't matter. So if it succeeds in grappling, you can have it crush the creature, doing 2d6 plus your spellcasting modifier.
Okay, so that's going to be an opposed roll, I guess. Let me just find out what the dragon's strength is. Okay.
Okay, so as long as I beat a 1...
So this is where we're going to see a dragon burn his first legendary resistance. He chooses to succeed that.
Oh!
But you have burnt one of them away, so...
Okay, well that hand's going to chill there till next turn anyway now, so wonderful.
Okay.
And I'm going to use not Eldritch Blast.
No.
No.
Wait, what?
It's a spell I've wanted to try for a while. I'm going to use Chill Touch. Create a ghostly skeletal hand and a space of anyone within 120 feet. So I'll make the attack on that, and then it will deal 2d8 necrotic damage if it hits.
Roll me that attack, please.
So I got +9 on this. Well, never mind.
So the kind of a hand appears and just can't seem to find any purchase on the dragon. Or if it does, it doesn't seem to be doing anything.
No.
You can't really tell from your range. Now the dragon is actually going to make an intelligence saving throw at this point to see if he works out whether this hand is its own thing or whether it's being controlled by you there. So it's going to be DC 18 because you're quite far away. So 12 plus... Okay, you're safe. So he doesn't realise you're casting that that hand. He just sees it there. But he's going to kind of realise now that he's surrounded by people, and he's going to kind of try and lash out now. So first he's going to take a bite at Sophia. And Sophia, you get... Again, as this thing kind of reaches down its head, you kind of pull back and have a punch at it. So roll me an attack roll with your astral arm. Are you actually here, guy?
Muted.
There we go. Yeah, can you roll me an attack on the dragon with your astral arms?
Yes, because that's all that's going to be happening. Oh, I got that 20 and a 19. Sick.
So yeah, a hit and a crit. So roll me that.
That'd be 7 plus 10. So 15.
Okay, so you kind of again see this thing's intentions quite clearly and deliver a kind of flurry of uppercuts to this thing's jaw as it comes down. And kind of stop it in its tracks there. But it's going to kind of, as it rears back, it's going to swing its tail around for another attack at you.
Sick.
And it's not going to do much better, so you kind of see it coming and kind of dodge right over its tail. And finally it's going to kind of kick its back legs, claws out at Falmouth. So that's going to be a 20.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's
2d6 plus 8 against the paladin. So another 15 damage there.
Yep.
Well, that's its turn. Sphere, you kind of pull back and nimbly dodge out the way. This thing's quite big, but you're quite fast, so you kind of use that to your advantage and try and kind of see where this thing's momentum is going to carry its appendages. Unfortunately, though, in your dodging, some of it does end up hitting your companion. Okay. Zoxar now kind of stretches out his hands up towards this portal and starts chanting again. His staff now is fully engulfed in this kind of green light. And you can kind of see as you watch, the portal flickers for a moment. But then it kind of resumes its steady colour. I'm almost there! Okay, Solna.
Okay, I'm going to start with bonus action. I'm going to use Second Wind, 1d10 plus 10 HP.
Okay. 1d10 plus 10 is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's at least 10.
It's at least 11. And in this case, it's the full 20.
Nice.
So, Solna, you kind of, in your mind, you can kind of hear the almost scolding voice of your father. Don't hit like a girl, you'll never amount to a true warrior. And it kind of sends you back to a time where you were just, first setting out on your path and like desperate to prove him wrong. And you kind of feel the sting of his words in your mind's kind of record collection there, and it kind of just drives you on to just shrug off a lot of his pain. So kind of ignoring the burning in kind of your torso from this acid, you kind of yell out in rage, just get stuck in.
Time to get chopping.
4 attacks.
How many do I have left? 2 attacks. How many dice shall I roll for that?
So multi-attack is going to be the 2 attacks with each weapon, so 4 in total. So you get one hit there. Just again, like despite the kind of intensity of your barrage, become the armor of a creature, just kind of deflects a lot of the kind of blows you're landing on it. But again, you do find one kind of place close to the base of its tail where the axe finds some purchase. And as you kind of bring it down, again, you feel something give, and the axe bites into flesh underneath.
13 damage.
Okay, cool. That will bring us to Falmer.
Zogshot, we can only hold so long. I cast Shield of Faith on myself as a bonus action. And I lay on hands, which is like a natural ability.
Yeah, it's something you just have innate. I don't think it's listed as an action. I don't think it's listed as anything, actually.
It's an action. So, yeah, Shield of Faith is a bonus action.
Yeah.
This is an action. I can restore. I'm going to use the whole 50 on myself and bring myself up to 67. I'm trusting in Zokshaw's whatever he's charging, and I just want to hold this. And that's my turn. That's a quick one.
Okay. Cool. So as your turn ends, this dragon uses the last 2 of its legendary actions to use its wing attack again. So I need everybody standing within 15 feet to roll me a DC 22 dex save.
Jackdaw's not in your...
He's not, he's fine.
Okay.
Nope, that's about.
Unnatural 20.
So you succeed there, Sophie. Oh, wait, was it unnatural? Sorry.
Unnatural, yeah.
Then it's a fail.
Are you within 10 feet of me?
Yes. Just.
Oh, do I get a bonus to the saving throw?
Yeah, plus 2, 20 bonus.
In which case that will do it.
Thank you.
So the other 2 failed, right?
I failed,
Pascal's out of the room, but she's just said she's going to use the ability to re-roll a...
So I'll say that's once per long rest.
Have you used it yet, though?
I know she hasn't used it, but...
What about next session?
Never get it. Yeah, I'm just going to have to take the damage.
It could have gotten a 20 on it.
Okay, so the kind of creature again flaps its powerful wings and kind of takes to the air. So it is going to do 2d6 plus 8 to you guys who failed it. So only 12 damage to Falmir and Solna. And because, of course, of evasion sphere, you don't take any. And it is going to use its flying actions to kind of go and chase after the fleeing Jackto. But you are going to get a reaction opportunity attack, guys. So roll me one attack with your unarmed strike.
Cool. Just one?
Just one, because it's a reaction.
Just guy.
That will miss.
So that misses.
Does just guy get that?
And as this thing kind of lands, you see its claws kind of come down and kind of latch onto Jackto's shoulder. And as it lands, you see it just put all of its weight down, and it just splats him.
Oh, so none of us are taking control of Jackto then?
No, I'm taking control of Jackto. So you kind of see him from where you are, Sybil. You see him kind of like the shock as the claws grab him. He kind of reaches out to you, and then he's just kind of turned into jam on the temple floor.
Jam toe.
And it is now your turn.
My turn?
No, Sybil's turn.
Okay. Well, seeing this splat, Sybil's gonna take a few steps back.
Rub the blood off this checker.
And yeah, that's kind of changed what I was planning to do. We'll cast Call Lightning at 4th level.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a Dex saving throw, DC 17.
Okay. Passes.
God damn.
So it'll be well for saving throws.
So it'll be half of 5d10.
Okay, so roll them up.
Yeah.
So around that 13.
13 damage, yep. Lightning.
So another kind of bolt kind of descends from the storm clouds above. Kind of strikes this thing. It actually kind of snaps off this previously blackened horn. That kind of falls to the ground, kind of leaving a kind of smouldering root. And this infuriates the dragon. You kind of hear it let out this kind of ear-splitting roar as the kind of pain sets in.
Does it sense who called the lightning?
Let's roll intelligence to see that. Because the bolt came straight from the sky, but he's obviously near to you. No, he doesn't. You're okay.
Okay. Then I'm going to quickly dash behind this pillar.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Cool. Brings us to... Actually, no, it doesn't, because he's dead. Alan Sophia.
Brings us to the jam.
Right, I'm going to get in there and just keep a pummeling.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go for no flurry of blows this time, so it's just the Astral Arms attacks.
Sure.
Plus 9 to each of those, so 17?
So you kind of hit this creature kind of in its hind legs with these arms, but it just does not even heed your attacks. It's kind of still bellowing from its kind of smashed horn.
So you got a resistance to getting your ass kicked.
God.
Right, then I'm going to use the key point just to actively defend for the turn as well.
So another key point to dodge. Okay.
Yep.
And he is going to lash out more from the pain. He's not deliberately trying to hit you. The tail kind of swings, so it's going to be disadvantage. Oof. So this one, it's almost as if when he's not aiming, it kind of is harder to predict. But this one does crack into you there. So that's going to be 2d8 plus 8. Okay, so it's not a horrific blow, but you take 15 bludgeoning damage as this tail catches you.
Okay.
Cool. Ow.
I'm going to start with bonus action.
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
This blue hand just following it.
Yeah, it's just chasing it down. It's going to attempt the grasp again.
Grapple again. So another roll.
Where are we? Here we go. So it says when it says resolve with strength modifier. there's a
Contested,
plus
yeah. So you're plus 6 there for if it's that.
yeah, so 20.
So that for me is going to be 19.
And that's 21 for me.
So it's going to burn off another legendary resistance and shrug that off. So that's most of them gone.
At least we're getting rid of those, I guess. You see. So we all know Eldritch Blast. It's all well and good. But I want to try something different. I want to try Vicious Mockery.
Little bard.
That we use Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, but this is the time I get to use different things, so I know what they do.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll unleash a string of insults laced with subtle enchantments at the creature, dealing 2d4 if it fails the Wisdom 17 roll.
Okay, let me just pull up what its wisdom is. Okay. 17, you say?
17. Fuck you!
Just what it needed. That was close, but this thing takes no notice of your string of insults.
Damn. If only. Oh well. And I'm actually just gonna, casually tiptoe down here, out of the way a little bit, because dragons and shit. Stay away.
And he's going to roll another intelligence saving throw to see if he's worked that hand out yet. This time he has.
So he knows it's being controlled, but does he know who by?
Yes, he does. He's figured that one out. And he's not too happy about it, shall we say.
You see, if that had worked, that would have been on disadvantage. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's why we try these things.
The problem is
Yeah.
that it didn't work.
To be fair though, burning away 2 legendary resistances in 2 turns is good for a concentration spell.
Exactly.
Don't underestimate that.
Well, yeah. That's it then. That's my turn done.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so first of all, this dragon is going to see if its breath weapon is recharged. So it needs a 5 or a 6 on d6. You're lucky.
Close.
However, I say lucky, it now knows, Al, that you are the kind of puppeteer of this hand that's been plaguing it, so it's going to kind of jump down from the ledge and kind of flap its wings and kind of fly over to you. So Sphera needs an opportunity attack, if you will.
Ah, yes. I keep on forgetting I'm here. Miss.
So you're not really expecting to see this thing take flight with the kind of level of ease that it does. So your reactions are a bit slow. Now you kind of see this thing flying towards you, and as it lands, it kind of snaps at you with its kind of jaws there. So it's going to make that attack. which is going to connect. So that one is going to be 2d10 plus 8 for its teeth. When those finally stop rolling. No, they don't want to do it. So it's a 6 and a 7 plus 8, so 21.
Oh, that's a shame.
So 21 damage from these teeth. As they kind of bite in, you can feel the kind of seems to be some sort of acid secreted into the wound. So that's just because I deleted them. But yeah, this acid kind of stings in the kind of already hurting flesh from that. And its next two attacks are going to be with its claws, so I'll roll them both together. They're both going to hit as well. This plus 16. Okay. So another 32 there.
Yay.
So this thing just kind of relentlessly lays into you. You could see just absolute fury in its eyes as you try and kind of pull away, but just it's relentless. And I need you to make me 3 separate Constitution saving rolls for your concentration.
Oh, grim. Right.
They're all DC 10.
So pass that one.
Don't I get like, with death saving throws? You get 2 for the 20.
Yeah, not quite. And last one.
Come on!
So somehow, despite this kind of vicious onslaught, you kind of maintain this mental link with your kind of patron and kind of call for it pretty fucking ASAP to come and give you a hand. Cool. And that is the dragons go. So you see now Zoxai's kind of bleeding at the nose a little bit from the concentration of this magic. And now the portal is really kind of starting to flicker. Almost there! Solna.
Okay, I'm gonna move and dash, I think. So get the dragon. So 5, 10, 30. And then what's this situation that we've got down here with the Brage? So
Kind of rough terrain for those kind of tiles that it's blocking. As you kind of have to vault over it.
Alright. Well, what would that take me down to? 15, I think I'm on half for now. So I could get over maybe 1 or 2 squares?
Yeah, I'd say you could use that to kind of vault over it.
Okay. There we go.
So you kind of run over to this statue and kind of, put your hand over it and kind of quickly vault over it. It's not that big an obstacle, and you're obviously in very good physical condition, so it doesn't pose any challenge. Okay.
Let's do that.
Fauna. You are up, my dude.
Sorry, I was distracted. Was that me?
Yeah, it is, yes.
Cool. Right. 5, 10, 15, 25. This can't be put 30s are out there. I'm lagging a bit. Oh my god. I'm lagging a lot.
Oh yeah. I think that's probably on. Just give it a moment.
I'm going to leave that for a minute. And all I'm going to do is I'm gonna chuck a javelin, I think.
Sure.
Chuck that javelin.
That's a 21.
So the javelin kind of flies true, but the tip kind of hits the scale and kind of is deflected upwards as the armor is slightly angled. It just doesn't quite have enough force to penetrate.
And while I remember, I need to do a concentration check because I took damage earlier. That with a +5 just passes. So that keeps my thingy shield up.
Mm-hmm.
Bonus action? Am I going to bonus action anything? Nope. I think that's me done.
Okay. And kind of using a reaction, he's going to use another claw attack at poor old Al. He's now separated from his allies and just receiving the full attention. But he misses, so make me an Eldritch Blast attack at it, please, Al. Rolled a lot of ones.
Oh, that's only 14.
So, although you kind of see an opening to take the shot, just because of the kind of quick moving claws mat, the blast just kind of zips past kind of its face that you're aiming for and kind of gets dissipated on this thing's shoulder plating. Alrighty, and we're back around to Sybil.
Okay. Let's be having you. A little bit worried about Al, so Sybil's going to cast Blight at 4th level.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a Constitution saving throw.
That's 19.
Yeah, so it makes it. So it's still going to be 8d8.
And then half it.
Cool.
Roll up.
You make sandwich for me. Nice. Oh. With butter. Oh.
Nice. Right, so I got a 2 there. So I can choose to roll my psionic die and replace that roll.
Uh-huh.
And my psionic die is a D8. So it's just another D8. So that's 6. So that takes it to 43. So
Making a bit of food.
22 damage.
How do you want to do it, Cal?
Oh! Yeah! So the power of the blight magic, in the words of the spell of blight anyway, the energy just washes over the creature, just pulling all the moisture, the blood, the life source out of it. So I suppose Al, seeing it up close, looks directly into its eyes, you just see what you can only describe as the life force of the creature just disappear from its eyes, and without a roar, without a scream, it just slumps to the ground with all its life just drained from it.
So, Al, you kind of see this very active and aggressive dragon just kind of flop down in front of you. Kind of eyes dull and kind of glassed over. As this kind of thing flumps down, you kind of take a moment to, first of all, assess that you are in fact still alive, if somewhat battered. But kind of take a look around you, and you can kind of see that the top of his temple is kind of just almost devastated from this dragon throwing its weight around, and the acid kind of burning through kind of most of it. You can even see this kind of large pillar now is starting to kind of dissolve, kind of almost to the core. However, as you're doing this, you kind of see Zoxar kind of slam his to the ground, and this kind of green energy is kind of released. And you kind of see this magical portal over here kind of flicker for a moment or two, and then kind of almost fold in on itself until it vanishes. But you can kind of see it's had a heavy toll on him, and he's kind of not in a good way. Oh, well done. We did it. Oh, I give you my sincere thanks. So the rest of you kind of, as the adrenaline starts to wear off, the pain really starts to kick in now. For most of you, have taken such a beating, and except for Sybil, who has managed to tactically avoid every little bit of attention he possibly could. But as the kind of this fire's probably long since petered out, especially after the coals. As you kind of take a moment to kind of check yourselves and kind of regroup, and the noise from the battle kind of subdues. Take a moment to look out back down over the city. And to your horror, you can see that the fire is no longer the most pressing issue down there. Kind of throughout the city, you can see, kind of spaced at weird intervals, all sorts of nightmare creatures through the town, and the screams are kind of carried up on the wind to where you are. And as you see this, you hear Zoxar mutter, "By the gods, perhaps we're not saved after all." So as Torek starts to kind of wind down from translating this war, the rest of you kind of realize that this whole temple complex you're in seems to be a kind of a monument to this kind of heroic party that kind of made an attempt to stop whatever it was that happened here. Although it seems that despite their best efforts, the damage done by this Quintilius was enough that even sealing one portal was not enough to save this city. Yendon, you can't help but wonder if the kind of black dragon depicted in these walls was similar to the one that levelled Caer Pengolas. It seems possible, especially after what Torek has just related to. You will kind of sit there, kind of listening to him finish this up.
Was there also a small passage in there that described how Sybil scooped up some of Jackdaw?
Put him in a jar.
And waited until he'd had a long rest before he could cast Reincarnate.
No, that bit seems to have been lost to history.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But,
Oh, that's funny.
Thought of the whole party just like sat in a circle around Torek like it's story time. Just want to Titus like, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame he's not here because Titus would really appreciate the big tattoo on this wall. It was a good story, as far as he's concerned. But it seems
Titus heroic as well. If Titus had been there, Titus would have crushed puny dragon.
It seems that, kind of despite this heroic effort, the Tildraish Empire still crumbles. And it seems that this might have been the key trigger to that. And that's where we're ending tonight's session. So, well done, guys. Only one fatality, and that was narrative.
Thanks for the session, Crispy.
That's very good.
No worries.
That was great, thanks.
Just, a little bit different. Give everybody a chance to play something fresh for a session before we dive back into it.
Yeah.
Chance to sort a giant magic hand. What do you want in life?
Right,
Cool.
I'm going to head off at that point. So I'll see you guys, tomorrow?
Probably.
Oh, next week for sure. But, I'll be
See you around.
Good session. See you
No
guys
worries.
around.
So, would you say listening to Tarek tell that story gave the party some life experience?
Some inspiration, perhaps?
Yeah. Salmir is now level 11.
You, you just got a passive level up. No, I don't think so.
Oh, not even after the big fight from last time.
Right, see you, fellas.
No
Yep,
worries.
see you.
See you guys.
You're right, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to head off as well. But, well done, guys.
Cool.
I have
Character
narrative question really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So next session, are we just continuing from being in that tomb?
In that temple.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, just picking up where we left off.
Sick. That is fine.
Have you spoke to Hunter yet about?
No, I haven't. I'll have to kind of find out what his plans are at some point. But I'll figure it out for next time.
Cool.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for that.
Well,
That was good.
nice.